Yadama say some twan ye koto nkra ya ba bedwafo aye krado na fie ha aye ma fie ha boma meka say fie ha boma na abedwafo e ba ye ne wom de omnim de e ba beboa ama yetumi aye adwuma no ama no aye fe de kama pa nti be bia wo bia no de America ne say kame ho e na ye ma bedwafo no akwaba na fe ye ne wo mu eni nkomo nsema do ye de agu apaso no ye ntoatoa ne yɛmfa ho adwene ne yɛhwɛ sɛ de ma ɛkɔsen na mom get fan for the release bi aba bonten na release no mo de aba no ɛfa me hwɛ na makenkan de amamo amanfo ɛyɛ azan frakadam amanfo ɛyɛ ne ma pa uka na nsen ya recruitment ye ba yi yechichi nkrofo bi so omso ometuma abo nkrofo tuma anya adwuma ne nema yechichi wo mom na ebi ekoso na eno na ehun nsem bi asori ama get fund ede hun release aba abonte also for immediate release was say our attention has been drawn to false information circulating in the social media space that the Ghana Education Trust Fund Get Fund is accepting application for postgraduate local scholarship, masters and PhD programs for the 2021-2022 academic year. We wish to notify the general public that Get Fund has not commenced postgraduate local scholarship, masters and PhD programs. They've not commenced anything of that sort. And unti Get Fund wishes to inform the general public to discard same as false and treat such as a hoax. Get Fund shall not be held liable to any person who falls victim to such cruel falsehood. Get Fund for say enya dia wamo ebie kwan say 2021-2022 academic year Agya University masters and PhD programs scholarship no o ma hya se omo yamoje ana so omo de ma wo mo hyaase and then social media and Get Fund for starting into kwa for application bra na Get Fund for more scholarship na se for Get Fund for so omo ni mo ho hwe enti wo a wo ba kwakoye na do wo betomu bie na ne wa wo jejereje no bi ne kumanchi bo esi akọ na diditi agye akyerema enu nti mon hyene nso pa mame eyasemhia sese npa bonfo no wo mo adoso ye pa na yemfa mo ye ho ban na ye hu de be yesremu a mon hyene nso emayen why bidamo ase samati mi ne anopai ene eyemi no edued kwesi ama edi wo danso man mo na me edi good morning ene wa woda if you busuafo ni nyina ho mo na me busuafo ni nyina se ma happy birthday ene ye hie abidwafo me no medi dwuma eye wo hwe me nifa so pe heya eye ononyafo Eko Vincent Asifua o tafo na hye bedwani wo me chen wa hankane na o kasama for the maso ye hwe ho masu ahonsam so nti na education issue no me pia ne pa ne ensese mbisa nyina me bisa be ma no so ensese wo so bisa nyina sa me bisa ni nyina CNN presenter no obeyi ma no so obeyi ma no so pa wanyi ma no amene wo bi kan ne na fei Dr. Bonsu Osewusu oye senior political scientist wono so na wote ebenku so akiro yebra yemo akwaba da CP so anya brede ama yenne na me benku so pen so Mensa Thompson or executive director Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability ASEPA wo menchen wo no kwa ni obi a ni kiki efita wo Ghana ha akwaba ejapacho amejo so kiki go for be obi ba wo de any different oh menchen ha ana fe David Agya or executive director Ghana Institute of Governance and Security wono so no timi benkum so chirichiri wono Agya akwaba eja mejo so mini Agya bo bra okumase fine no bank na jame na bibia ye yi ma no na Agya nso yi mi ama na wona wa beto me wa nti na mso me bisa ne nsem bia ma na ai nti na de me bete me kan ne e bia fo ma mu nyina kwa aba
ya meti ase
da mo se ne mo se mo mre e de ma yen da mo se papa ma me hye semfiri doc so doc MMDC isa ye kan ho asemi be boso me nwotwe nie afi de nya ne tie se mampani e de din na babonten ema yehunu se ebinom ko ebinom ba ebinom da so konkon ho bi yehu de ye nasefo ba yenhwe ebre a ediye ansana wo mo eba no effect enya development so de di kan revenue e beje e wo district numu de tosu mienu ena afi so no enkantenso a enya e wo impuntu ankasa so omamu ni nyina no yenhwe de nya e wo so wadama
yeah, jedi ka mechia afefo ne atiefo. Me jidi se I am unfortunate say abai aba na kwa bosomi nkono na ontimi nyi DC4. So hwe ya mamonu a DC4 no na oye abai na musifo ewo mansinimu. We be kasi o ye kasi o mo ati me yidi se ati no ni substantive na nya de kro decision bi wa on timi take o kan revenue ho asem me yidi se no kra de on betimi akoso age cause ne this na jeje to and coordinating directors no so ho nemum empuntu no de e ba affecting bebre because this na say osan nyema bi ase ansana yetimi ayesu sika no ena obi a oye acting no ono hu an se me koyesi ne se ya mfam bi mu ana me ye ne dan ndi bibi a oye no ese odwene hu mienu nti me gidi se affect development or local areas no pa yi so here buying oba first no the first 4 years no I'm say April mu na obobo DC for no din ko abano me yeti ase say president especially me yeti ase say on the open term on the BBM tini adwene say nka obi oni nipa bia ye adwuma na wabu oman so mfie na no de nka ne mpre nu so no de kanema be contem as we say timi gidi say delay as no de amwa oman no na bema impunto so ato api ewo mansini num o hwe to say common found ni yikra no ebi aban bema excuse say this for my enti no on fan koye in this scan so koye a yasi enkote aduro ni nyina ne ahaban enti affect amamuo no empasuan so ni na affect abano aso ankasa because development no na ebe boost ni chances of winning the next election but you see achia ne mu ye esna babo nyina intino it is better late than never intino obobodin no the minister so no emfa entu dwantem because obobodin no wie no nye no ne ho a afi ne yekoto aba bible okra be call best imprensa ebiko abe reject the abana bondin no ama wasa akobo din foforo ntimjiri se delayance no amwa obia
ebinum ka se eye wadwene mu no susuye mu no ade na bema side yetumi aba se bia dipa ne doso enubdifo no doso ama we hu de ebeyi no ana interference bebre fi enchenchen ba eno so ka ho bi ana se nipa na eye qualified o betu anya adwuma na bia eni ho ntia se yetumi hwe mu ana yanko amfumso bi ususu se de na bema na basa
misusu se interference no a bit my major factor but as a leader no there how do you measure public opinion so din crofo achi a ebi okra na nipa bese oha emu mienu omo na odin sere aduakono nwotwe no indibom so omo no betima influence amanfo se o yempe we ye pewe inti wudi akire dia ne nka wonye hwe inti uno alice o party representative wo impesua no so your original ministers were party no national in the crown omni nipa ne bebre and until no omo vetting any recommendation aba ebeduru ha sei no nya fe na akotete akire wora na him for abase o asomase wo mu ade ndi empe no party for no sisi o we no wan tua sika bia wa anya hwe during campaign but obi betuma aboa party kwan bebre so obi okro onte Ghana ha sei enso aboa party no pa timigiri say as a party no there you should know your people and interference no so consider but emma so mu aban bebre
mampani ka say oye wide consultation wo hwe say ensa wosudie no obetire mu ama obi ade na dwempo ne nsusu ya aba sa wide consultation no mi nim say bia wo ho pupuye bia
fa no say wide consultation say me say traditional leaders you no obe consult to obe consult to party members obe consult to party leadership but me nyini say no excuse him say e ma de no chesa does it mean say first 4 years no oba afoforo no one consult to obi ado yi o ma na say satan no timi yi o montem nze sia nka wo hunu nipa no en kwa de say nka we bantem sene 2017 in the wide consultation ehu hia but it shouldn't be the excuse for delayers say up till now to see afi na be kwa akoto aba ya nhwe yie na say ya rejecting crofo bebra wan hwe be next year bukra na mpasua no bi ni DC ni say beboa emwa o man no emwa mpasua no emwa aba na nkasa soso
ewie ene na eno no ekwo de ye kani nkoma ye die nyina minim say wo mu bi na eye dan a wabato bisua sonso no se MP no aban krachefo e wo ho a wo no mo ye adwuma ne nasefo ebra DCs MMDCs MIA no wabato bisua so otafo ene ne potamu no niema ekosen ye hwe no wiafe na yafe ya ba se ye delay ye ne nasefo no.
Well, my main chair a otafo constituency for him for a tafo Anapampo no mensan chair a polling station executives and so I will for constituency executives assembly members and so be sure be no pay and Jacob na dia tie ne say assembly biano they are technical people and as nkofo a political appointees omwo ho eye adwuma de bia potoka say yebetimi afro mo say omoye public servant and civil servant enti coordinating director or director in charge of budgeting or engineers or and all the other technical staffs or the assembly in my estimation no say MC niwa in fact as a member of parliament, Krata Bibrinwa, I try to bring me sometimes to invite me to the assembly meeting, to invite me to programs in America. Bibrinwa no better coordinating director and assigning. And I was signing for the municipal chief executive. And a trope say yes, MC anywhere, and I said DC anywhere. That is not what Emrano and I say yeah. No, in the absence of that. Oba Otafo constituency see appointed municipal chief executive since 2018 the basis assembly no ye who difference be say from 2018 to 2020 and from 2021 to this time no they said nipa na oya adwuma no na oya adwuma they haven't been any gap they haven't been any gap because Otafo constituency because I have already told you
sa bankrachi wo ho a na adwuma obeye ene sa bankrachi eni ho na coordinating director na beye no ebeye pe
should anya pe but I'm just saying say there is a municipal chief executive or offices here the only difference and they say chief of staff and as a minister for local government at Krata said they should be caretakers. What do you say? Say omono enhwechiri But these are MCs that were there before 2020. And me my dream no. Me who say there have been a lacuna and I said there have been a gap here a create because say more MCs in the in Dubai water for constituency I said medical cano. There is no gap and I say lacuna a create. But Kwabena, what share yemra ponwa a boy who buy the 1992 Constitution of the Republic, chapter 20. Now share article 243 in 1. And no nema o mampanyin bi obeba no e ma wo akwanya se utimiyi MMDCs. Now my main draws are distinction way. In 2017 MPP amanyoko ye wini ayeba abamu no. The circumstances in 2017 are totally different with the circumstances are in 2021. If we say 2017 na MPP amanyoko ye je to me every a year the SWA government say siano MPP for ye ne da so abamu ana ye choose ye nkrofo enam adesuandie bia yesua no for the past 4 years in intino na ho abehia said there should be proper consultations. Now make a proper consultations are I dare say said there have been an improvement from 1992 how MMDCs were appointed, from 1996, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016. There have been an improvement. Now we share this particular appointment no, from constituency level. My constituency chairman and executives nibi at a panel na regional minister a chair no. And ye wo MPP mpanyufo be so no cancer regional committee no. Their sole purpose on that committee was to make sure say ye be you be or the ideologies of the new patriotic party AD. Because sabi Agya Kwabena oba vetting committee na obi a opeso ye MC ye busa say o constituency chairman dey say boy polling station, forget about the MPP and NDC. Polling station say what's am pursue on no. Yes say you get it wrong. Then clearly some of these processes had to be exhausted. Proper consultation because local government ejumana ye no. Agya Kwabena, it is not just about sebe party full. Assembly members, in fact, about Otafo constituency here. Otafo constituency is widely known as a seat of the MPP. In fact, from 2004, constituency. It has been one of the huge constituencies. You vote in na echo my MPP. Having said that, and also interested be municipal chief executive and as a DC, the party for one can a debi. Because it says impuntu eba a year locality honor one. Impuntu no mama MPP for one. And Tisebi assembly members are so my MPP for me NDC for which in my constituency is a measure of MPP and NDC. They need to be consulted, irrespective of their political colors. Traditional council, they need to be consulted, irrespective of their political affiliations, because the assembly is made up of, and I say, assembly members of parliament, members of the assembly, they need to be consulted. Now, no maybe a SCC ya bon company share say MC ya no wo no. Ne dwumadi obedi ye no. Eso ani ma party no. The person ya na say the party person mo achieve no. Aban no ensa kan ya na. And it is on that basis. And it's not the circumstances are from 2021 are different from 2017. So I cannot be convinced in any way. No stretch of imagination can I be convinced. Say the delayance with the appointment of a MMDC, one, a reducing a development, and as my development, and I say a hand of my debut. But in my estimation, these proper consultations had to be done. MPP press conference a very strategic press conference. Very, very strategic, because we know that there are interests that are at stake. Because the interests are at stake. We have most of our district and as constituencies. Constituency chairman and executives so paha. And our constituency chairman so pay. Executives need be so pay. MP so pay. And for so pay. A form for no so grassroots for no so pay. Assembly members so pay. When it happens like that, it is interest that is at stake. So what it means is say we needed to make sure say we communicate to the Ghanaian people. Say Master, nipa 7 no and answer 5 number contest. If all of them are party people and also be a party for, then we should understand. Say that is a test of your loyalty to the party. Say won't mean kasi amodi and answer nipa me supporting amodi din and won't me buofu. No. If you are loyal to the party and you are a true member of the New Patriotic Party, Nasa Woje, His Excellency Nana Danko Kufuado, the Niswadi Hunu Noma Oyo, Mamun Ujidi, now himself, we don't want any distractions, sir. Then, Ajubro. Now,
yeah, and it's sad, yeah, kids where you're walking. Consultation.
Yes.
Bosumi Bako.
Consultation, I say, I could tell you.
Maybe. I didn't try Bosum Bako. Bosumi no, Bosumi ensa, Bosumi 9, Bosumi num, Bosumi nsia, Bosumi nson, Bosumi nwotwe. Into your friend say wo de Bosumi be 30 days 30 sa 8.
Agya Kwabena, Bosumi nwotwe na nya nokre. Woni bi nya nokre.
I didn't tell nya nokre.
MMDCs in 2017 were appointed somewhere in May. Oko share the local government nso mra no a. E chepe fe say omo wo mfie 9 a omo di be ye omo adwuma. Now you have 4 years to work. Then you were appointed in 2017 in May. Definitely, your term of office will only exhaust in May 2021. Until May 2021, no more time on a day. That was when His Excellency the President. Oh yes.
Say young fan say okay no. Abakra no say Mampeni say to abani yi no.
Yes.
Enti say Mampeni swai. Yes. On the 7th of January 2017 ni dibre se mampeni no and day 7th of January 2020
yes.
21 and etwam.
Unfortunately for you, the office of the president the term of office is not co-terminate with the office of a municipal chief executive or district chief executive.
So okay, J.H. Mensah versus the
Attorney General. Yes.
So anybody appointed by the government.
Yes.
Government in Oka.
It is exclusive of the municipal chief executive. At the time, it was with respect to the legislative arm of government approving what the president will bring, which was the finance minister in that particular case. What you say? So, in my estimation, the municipal chief executive and also MMDCs, with respect to local government in Mrano, are different. With respect to the office and also the tenure, time one, President Benya and MMDC Benya.
I know your assembly members, but do you see the say appoint to a day before election? When the president is going, you go.
There's 4 years.
4 years.
The appointed will May 2017. When will your 4 years?
Meba, say I'm funny sanka by no so any what I fancy Habana and we need the next election. I bet na sako pime ansa no wako.
Because they are not sacked. They are not sacked just time one MPP winning and I said this with the buyer. They will not be sacked the next day.
The president goes with that whoever he appointed, except the assembly members who were voted into office.
Yes. Assuming say I Bosumi Yanfa Bosumi be fa Bosumi nsiampo. Na aban wo ho. Na say 2024 ekoto aba. Na say aban na winning a. Ye beka say appointed no September ntino. Abafo na ba no ye bema na tenase akopisa September na say amana akọ na fofo
no, because the president no will to me say obey appointed and disappoint. What you say? No, it does not negate what the law says.
The first president cracker so am acting presuppose some terms of officers so
absolutely.
And God can say obi anim say 4 years intino. Why should you
acting no more time na dey aso.
That
was in May.
May.
Yes.
Now, it's from January up to May, no. na omna ye DCs.
Absolutely. I'm on the net that's say DCs.
And to say yɛmfa ne say di abɛn no saa na ɛbɛ yɛmfa ne say we no yɛgye ɔmo tu mu yɛmfa ne say October and November.
Yes.
2025 November answer ɔmo dibre say DC na ɛbɛfiri hɔ.
Saa na mmara ne te so 4 years no. Na mmom ɔmanpanyin bi ba because say to me no article 243 chapter 20 ɛma ɔpanyin ni to me to appoint and disappoint it. Obetimi ayi nipa no even when na the time nso.
It is a 4 years na yɛde ma ne so mfa nya adwuma no.
Yes.
Na se delay for 6 months ah.
Like we delay for 6 months. Me tu futuro ngu.
Me tu futuro ngu bi ani. Meba. Asem na meka.
Ya we delay me you panyin no. Unya bu pen ma hu ba bi ade fa.
Dabi.
Ntu dem yan kan chat for 6 months nya so. Dabi. Me so the CNN presenter extraordinaire. But to dem mesro.
Me see yɛmfa ne say. Fatu na be man.
You see 3 months.
Okay, we yɛmfa no 1 month mpo. We yɛmfa no 1 month and 2 months. Entini say odipa no yeah man 4 years amana ye na adwuma.
Yes.
Ah ye hwe kwasa that 4 years mandate so tumi ye niam A B C D.
Yes.
Na say 2 months ni fimu a.
Yes.
When say time is money.
Yes.
Nti akoba ne say bring na so de adwuma ne ye bia fi nsam. Enti he might not be able to achieve the goals ni nyina. Eba ne say who do you blame? Do you blame the MC or the appointing authority?
The appointing authority no on a name the vision or the pushy the agenda for the 4 years. At every point in time no ntina president or how timisisa ministers no. So this particular year no based on my budgetary allocations and also my projections amaye ewo parliament ma ka che Ghana for na say we na me be no this particular minister may not help me, this particular deputy minister may not help me and untine ma main training sign kakra na onko tena se na for from ra ono na menim so betimi aboa masa me dwumadi ambese me die no ekoso in that instant if the president so wishes say no na betimi aboa na ma na mamu na koso a he is under the 1992 constitution without any bar. So obetumi appoint such a person or disappoint such a person to make sure say the vision or na day to me akoso. There's no problem at all with the delayance, even though Ghanaians express say oh no saying Cardian by now I've even seen some of the NDC MPs or more the court na president also our appointee and all those things. Yes, we agree with all those things, but in the circumstances it is better to have better people to manage our districts and our municipals and our metropolitan when it is late or if it is late, rather than having people omuntimi from punto na yepe no and I say omode enkabomu ayepe no or the various districts and I say municipals no ebetumi diaba. If you go and appoint these people somewhere in May and I say somewhere in February, ebetumi defeat the purpose of a ban agenda or person deba.
Na se dipa no na mu nim say ekoti hei ye ne ekwa ye adwuma mfie 9.
Yes.
Party fo ni mu no. Ye nim ne modembo.
Yeah.
Enti se ye koyi na ba.
Yes.
Na hyeda anya den.
Yes.
Mampeni so asoafo ahodo ne bedwafo bi a wachire binum kura hyeda anya nipa edi ani hu omo se womo eye front runners omo hye akire eye nhwehwemu fuma aban ne mampeni woni amahodo bebre hu. Enti party ni bia no ye nim ne standing. Ye nim ne modembo, ye nim be obetuma ye, ye nim de ntumi enye. Enti se yeka se afi ne ye behwehwemu ahwe sa simasi betumi aye adwuma na ebinum ka se we have the men and women no and also said that any wa and also
Kwabena one you say justice justice if it will have to be done you need to see it being done if you want to ensure that there is fairness in the system. What you say?
Yes.
His Excellency the President, the Niswadi Hunu, and they said there should be some amount of fairness. And I've always listened to the President when he speaks, whether in camera or whether publicly. The President is somebody, Onyaya, Anka MMDC is not now appoint you. Anka, we've given back to the people to choose their own representatives. Where would the President, whether he's going to be an SNPP are buying the Bewa Bemu even after 2024 or 2028, why would we give that pressure to the President say Chinchina on an appoint MMDCs? Yenya, and that's our man, and that is one of the processes that we triggered in our last government to ensure, say, you send the elections back to the people to appoint their own people. Say, oh, nipa wedi okujanya nemwa ebeboye. But with respect to, say, we have the men, no. My main case must have been true.
Okay.
Vetting MPP impanyumfo bi eyeye no there were some people the vetting committee even felt say ni nyansa ne ni suade hunu no owo no ye de ne kwhye baabi krampo aso chan MC no a eye take it from me there were some people that the committee felt say we should even push them somewhere ometimi aboama MPP amenyo ye ni suade hunu no a ye wo no from 2021 to 2024 ebetimi achieve no there were some of the people who went for the vetting that we felt say they are better than even being MCs or anase omo any suade hunu no anase omo capacity no ye be underutilize no just yen to me nyo omo ho mfaso a also man to me dey enya because they are having some exceptional knowledge betimi dia bo awon no there are some people so bia oh nipa no ho no nim so betimi aye adwuma no but the adwuma no come on no a different matter. Why? We've been in this country when we heard a lot of people almost neutrals. Yet we gave them the opportunity in government and they failed woefully. We've seen it on countless occasions. But our Bontina or Casadia, because hey, I created you. Such people, no, we needed to have an assessment of their work over the years to ensure, say, you might be the command, and I say, the command. Oh man, now the Danko Kufado Nenimunya Day in Wase. If you have about 168 seats in government, 2017 to 2020, now 2020 Yakotwaba, now you're 137. We've lost over 30. And you think say your mom compongo here and her baby problems in free buy. We needed to make sure say all these assessments have been done. Near who baby problems near day free. So definitely, in my estimation, me who less than there. But I know there are some MCs or metropolitan executives, and I say district chief executives, who may not be maintained because omudi and ABA are more party. No. In my estimation, in my own personal estimation, there are some MMDC so. Such people, they may be maintained per the estimation of the president. And when it comes like that, I know some medical I can say, the best party faithfuls. And conform no mudi nkrophobia chi say we dey chinchina o say bonidin, we dey o say chinchina o say bonidin. Na say sa and so adin hu na mo hwehwe no ntimi ama adwobreo. If we need to break the 8, we will break the 8 not with lip service. We will need to break the 8 with the loyalty that we have for the party, with our hard work, so that we can indeed break the 8 basic break, you know.
May I say Vincent Asifua at Otafu Nashibijani or Abranti so or Otafu.
Otafu so I come say Otafu. You can't Otafu your crew from
and I Otafu. You Mensa ya din komo ya meshada na mecha wono so kakra san so no wa ban munti no e bia no won sem bi obetuna ka china maybe some question bi echire wo ayi afedi ejebo eja na bidu abi de ehwe kwanse sabaka no mampeni dia bawi
no abasema yo won list no
me hu ba ko bi ene na nam de
inyamba because we need an official communication.
No, CNN presenters who are we understood that form.
We're still waiting for the MMDC.
Absolutely.
Say you, nobody has been appointed. We need a letter from the chief of staff or from the president to the minister of local government dictating says so and so persons have been nominated. Yenyan list no. It enyama ejanyama.
So. Yes.
But you see there I'm say Vincent Akasa Bebe but I'm say they have to sacrifice the party, the NPP political party's interests. You know, they have to sacrifice the interests of Ghanaians, the interest of the development of the assemblies, in the interest of NPP's own political party's internal interests. Exactly, that is what it is. Wakasa Bibre and also take your time. Say to no problem. We are say we be me as solve the problem. Nyoka kanyina kusini say NPP party nim adwumabu ma also ye. And sana yetimi appoint MMDCs no. Eti yes per se mama emre na yen solve your internal problems you be ansa na Ghana for the emra no share kete say ye no ya mama. Clearly that cannot be the kind of impression you would want to create. You see, the constitution ye di bo man no. Ye emra no so ye very very clear on what must be done. Okay, Article 243 or say there shall be a district chief executive for every district who shall be appointed by the president with prior approval of not less than 2/3 of the majority of members of the assembly present and voting. In the Emran say there shall be a district chief executive. The same way I Emran this constitution Emma a coin for a vacuum to be created at the high office of government, which is the presidency, is the same way Namrano Makwain for a vacuum to be created at the local government level. Because we call the local government level, the district chief executives are the direct representative of the president at the local level. Woman they are bankrupt penny or more mensimo. Into Emrano, said the Emrano it provided a way so that at every point in time there was a sitting president. It's the same way Nemrano say at every point in time there must be a district chief executive at the assembly. Now, what kind of clause 2 now? Or say the district chief executive shall preside at meetings of the executive committee of the assembly. In the assembly, we have the general assembly made up of all the members of the assembly, and then also the executive committee. It take certain critical decisions. What kind? Your friend is saying 251 now. Okay, Article 251 now. Clause 1 will say there shall be established an executive committee of a district assembly which shall be responsible for the performance of the executive and administrative functions of the assembly. You see, first you need a district assembly, a district chief executive who will chair the executive committee of the district assembly, who will be responsible for the performance of the executive and administrative functions of the assembly. The moment the district chief executive is absent, now this function of the assembly is truncated. You cannot ask somebody, and a person acting cannot perform this function.
Boss, interpretation being
no.
What kind of interpretation is this?
You see, the constitution provides a prerequisite for somebody. You see, what kind of constitution? Now you must read it in totality. Or say there shall be a district chief executive for every district who shall be appointed by the president with prior approval of not less than 2/3. And even if the president appoints you and you have not received the 2/3 approval from the assembly members, and so before you can even chair the executive committee, you must have received prior approval from the executive committee.
It is how we are acting now.
You can't take those decisions.
You've not, but say your only party you approve with 2/3 of the majority of the assembly members. Until so no one no na neighbor some opinion so act here. You
see that is the problem and the confusion they are creating. You see, we have the Presidential Transition Act, which is very clear. It say how presidential transitions and must move from one government to another. And you see the mistake. A creative say, oh, yeah, and problem be no. It's wrong. You see, your constitution, what kind of very clear. The Presidential Transition Act treats every election cycle as a new government altogether. It's an entirely new government. And what kind? On the 6th of January 2021, there was a letter from the Office of the Chief of Staff, which truncated the appointment of all government officials in accordance with the Presidential Transition Act. Into we are board of any company, we are chief executive, we are anybody appointed by the president in accordance with the Presidential Transition Act, your tenure came to an end on the 6th of January 2021. And this notion say, oh, does not hold. Because your constitution treats every election cycle as a new cycle. And that is why Yenka say, Omanpenye Kufado. One and last time, no. It is a trouble in their own trust, so there's no need for a swearing in. Because on one, say you're swearing in the first time, say because on air trust, into no air trust build there. We don't have to have a swearing in. On no man and trust, but the Constitution provides those 4 years And after the election cycle, you know, the processes are truncated and a whole new process begins. So you swear the president in, you swear the speaker of parliament in. And then the processes of government begins to run. Then we begin to put people in place. This whole notion say woman and into your so act into problem behind the is wrong. It's in total contravention of the provisions of our laws. Again, you see, me can say well, a lot of notions on why our process is not.
But with all this, can you also read Article 246 in conjunction with what you just read for proper interpretation? So that you know, say the term is for 4 years. That's not. You see, that's not how
the term being 4 years. No, there are laws that take precedence over the other. The Presidential Transition Act is very, very clear on what must happen, on how governments must hand over to government. And even though there still must be a transition. The law requires that after every election there must be proper transition. And those notions I think could be shelved for now.
But senior, we didn't use the transitional provisions. Their Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. In fact, I think it's Article 11. It shows the sources of law. Now the sources of law also now the precedence to which one should take over the other.
I know.
And the Constitution takes precedence over all the other laws. So this is the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. You see, Article 246. Let's say, Article 246 say, elections to the district assemblies shall be held every 4 years, except that such elections and elections to parliament shall be held at least 6 months apart. Uko 2 no say, unless he resigns or dies, he or he earlier ceases to hold office under clause 3 of Article 243 of this Constitution, the term of office of the district chief executive shall be 4 years.
Okay.
This is the Constitution. So you cannot use a transitional provision that cannot take precedence over the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. To say no, but so you see the principle of the GH Mensa versus Attorney General. That principle was just for appointees of the of government. That's okay.
Again, I said the issues that were raising in Anna, so yes, Obianka said many consultation. The government or the political party, NPP, has every right to do their consultation. But don't allow your consultations to override the interest of the state, which is the effective running of the various district assemblies. Before the elections, it's assumed that any party who is contesting elections is a government in waiting. And when you're a government in waiting, you have very much a fair idea who is going to be in charge of what. That's your responsibility. Because because the government machinery must run. In the first 4 years of President Kufuor, you also open them. And now, not the wait, what is happening this time round? Why is the president not in a hurry? Why is the president this time round there? The same person now opposition now you have not worked with people before, you don't know them. No, you were quickly putting people in places and you're able to set up your government. On next 4 years now, when you go 4 years, who can perform, who cannot perform, who can do what and who cannot do what. No, or say time you don't know your people anymore.
So you need about consultation. Send them you bet you the 4 years, last 4 years, you know. Obetum the year Juma, the first 4 years, want to me, you know, or bet speed it up until wider consultation. One more quiet, and you're feeling we are being removed training now, a training.
Kwabena, yes, who will be a year Juma in fear 9. In fear 9, one win the performance. In fear 9, you know, we have also made watch it to know that whether the person can perform or cannot perform. Who will be a year Juma in fear 9. In fear 9, no one went to me and who say, I saw me see me, the need to Hasaya. Obetima yejuma asumesi we betima yejuma. And already after the elections, me sure say more the political party my internal consultations, my internal assessment on what went wrong and what did not go well. And putting people in position shouldn't be a problem. You see how we have left the local government architecture or the structure hanging for the last 8 months. has affected this country a great deal, and nobody can run away from that. Nobody. What the assembly has said, whether the assemblies have been able to take any proper decision, have been able to implement even decision on their various finances, crampo, saya, their budgetary stuff and all that. Because all these things, you need an executive committee of the assembly to be in place, to be how do we call it? To be supervising some of these administrative, work of the assembly in accordance with the law. And so clearly, I think that the excuses that are being given are just unacceptable. I don't think that in the history of this country, we've gone such a long mile after elections without district chief executives.
So when you say Mrane Shab reporting say, you to Abama na so be mampene and so di nkunimu a ye maboso ba ko busumi no busumi esa bosumi na out be ya bankrachi.
Agya Kwabena, even ministers. Emra time obi ana so say time say no you ministers. Okay, other than ministers one train fee afeba ko chance na you ministers, because you know that the government machinery must run. In na district chief executive that baby ye mpuntu juma our assembly e ka Ghana fo. You see the ayen was so nyina ye de kwa adwuma no wo form ho. This is near assemblies no omo na hwe monitor the problems of the people on provide solutions. Some of them say assembly be they are faced with water problems. They are waiting for a proper assembly to be reconstituted for approval for a project that can solve the water problem. But because of say NPP party who NSMB any cophobia if you say those people do not have water. Some want school structures to be built, some want basic social amenities. Some want roads, some want other projects that will make their life easier. One more unity what train say NPP party best solve more internal problems and some of my say okay Ghana for more assembly more district chief executives in. And so clearly this is a huge failure, and for such a monumental failure to be very obvious right at the beginning of your tenure, I think say it is very, very worrying. And many have Vincent, and I'll be very worried for my government. Because now what you are doing is any moment you are delaying, and Kwabena was said be ABA or equity problems and perhaps in 2020 you lost some parliamentary system. Anytime you delay in choosing who takes over the assembly, reduces the amount of time those people will have in office to be able to solve the problems which could potentially make your party win the next elections. And in the end, what problem are you solving? And so I think, sir, we must be very, very serious about this thing. And I think, sir, it's about time we must start giving President Kufuor some ultimatum. Sir, your Marco say, when your assemblies now, the people can go over and start taking the positions. Because it means yeah, exactly. But if the person cannot fill common district chief executives within 8 months, we are almost getting to the end of the year. We are in the last quarter, almost in the last quarter. District chief executives are people who have occupied other positions. What again can you do?
Okay.
And so clearly, I think say if President Kufuor and him say won't mean yeah, maybe assistance so on can
okay.
Because I mean, what does it take? What does it take to appoint the district chief executive? Really? It's not that you have not even been in government before. You've been in government before. You've worked with the guys. Just say, and I wouldn't party for my bontoa, no elections. On the ground. Party for the moment. And now you see, the local government, your friend say, a structure no. And sure, they say no, because after the year is about 2 months, it be better take 3 months. Because they never call assembly members never rejected no. So from what we are envisaging, we can get to the end of the year without district chief executives for some of the assemblies. And this is a fact. Because you need 3/4 of the assembly members, to vote in favor of that person before the person. And see, what did let's not buy, you've done just half of the work. And if I list in the brand assembly members know which of them they are going to go for, which are not going to go for, they are rejected who to replace with. Because I think you should have about 2 or 3 people who do we call here rejecting now. The law says or call the third time you're rejected now. You take a new person. So why are we wasting the whole country's time just by submitting a list for people to decide who should be the executive?
Because say on the constituency no problem be any
problem also.
There's no problem. There's no problem.
So running. But then I say you could have been hona agbe so fane dem na quickly na yenko share and some ahodo aka esan say ene be education mu pa wasi resource no is a leakage of wasi no question papers no no ya cancel ne ethics no na fi ya hwe some ahodo efisi educational sector no ya da kentagbe mamenti o
Agya Kwabena me dase me gidi se ensam no mpanyemfo yi akadodo no na ne titrim enyina no ne tofabo nyina no eye ne me senior Dr. Abonsu Osewusu ekaye. That is the summary of the whole thing. Ne tofabo nyina no okaye. Kasa tententen nyina be se don hwere kura no. Chese ne okaye no ene wo mu se it is very unfortunate say beye se ye wo bosome enkron eda toso enwotwe emu edu nwotwe mu ene ewo yi a wo mampanyi enyi ne district chief executive yeah what September 18th and then September 18th yeah. And then August
because was a month in
bosome enkron that toso eda toso du nwotwe mu ne ewo yi kemenya kasade we ni kwan se eka omampanyi abakosem se wono no ye president waba in the 4th Republican constitutional era ye we mu no na 9 months in wono administration no wonyi the chief executives e wo district menya nenka enka omampanyi abakosem because a president we twasa bi ato ho a saa no a wo twa no ebedi na chi saa ebeye part of the political district history of the MPP administration ankrofo enkwada wo mo ye ba be wo mo enim ayifo nyina wo mo ebeye abakosem amanada wo and we yes in political administration na eye bad because near wo ye bia no amanfo twere ho nkrata ebu amanfo twere ho abakosem bu ho enti wo twa sa bone sa no a enya de a efa
so say or here wider consultation say be to make the right people to the job.
You see omampanyi ye obi a say be wani afi kakra e wo Ghana ha say ya woni no won say na wo kan me no wa na e di agora afi tetentre de aba be sine and me personally omampanyi the first time a me di hu omampanyi ye 1997 no a member of parliament me di wo mampanyi akirache parliament ma hwed wo mampanyi juma wadie wo be minister of attorney general wo be foreign affairs minister wo context election 2018 2008 election 2012 2016 anya meye na dom win the president no wo abakosem a ekire pa se onim Ghana a wonim Ghana for ehi ade na wo pe Ghana for ehi ade a eye se wo hu ne se constitution no eye important document a eye akire kwan e de maye na Vincent Ekasa no say we students of law me hwe ne background I mean we good credential many eje hu papa yi but because of say we PRO so hu enti one here oh say the wejai but we tell we say woman kwan yo betimi so I mean somebody from first degree political science why I mean law LLB was higher I mean masters in economic policy I mean very good background but PRO no ya dominating no nti wo ka say na one here so but the fact of the matter is say ni ampanyi aye no enya de a yes hwe district assemblies no omo kwa ho ye mu papa yi
omo kwa ho hia mu enkrofo se wonam Kumasi abontin te se wono baabi a we tafo pankro no wo mo hia de no eden yanko tafo pankro no ye constituency a already developed but ye wono mankuma ebia water problems bi wa ha nyinamankania no mankuma bi schools a wo ho nyina no well equipped or say to schools a wo ho ne and baby no ma nti wono no wonte enka yie se emia nkurasefo no be yan a ye wo rural communities no ye fi nkurase villages a big time say wo hia nsuo wo hia roads wo hia enkania wo hia say I mean street light no mankuma betimi amakrom aye kama no wo hia sa no ma no won enkrofo toto atachem every sehwe area sa no abakumase wono ankasa wo fatafo pankro no eko adwira area villages akase wo ho a wo mo hia development enti sa wuti krom wuti Greater Accra wuti Kumasi abontin a wanhwe ya you will not feel the impact say omampanyin delay a waye a wontimi nyi district chief executives no and how but wo konkurase no a wutimi say enkrofo brankasa wo mo hia say chief executive no be wo ho no mo akọ ne nchen no mo akọ ka wo mo hia say ma kire say hey district ya yi school so edan so apa na no say ayi mekrase ni odi biase meti yes school bi edan so apa na meti say o as a member of parliament no wa bomode akwakobo say school so no say wo ba bia ayi honorable eslawusu ekọ ebie ayi fenesen telephone ayi no no akwakoye sa no man nyina no kire yen say various districts no amanfo ho ye den kire won enti ne ye kan nyina ne say omampanyi bomode enkodu bese bosumi woyi awie ye nko ade bomode ne yi enkrofo no omo emmomode say ometimi aye adwuma na ma but eja ne ye kan nyina no ne amo omampanyi adile nyina no asem ne yetiawa eye sikasem se eye sika na eni ho
sika omode eni ho say
sika unim say u rane district ayinu a u hia sika a wo de beye na sese no ukọ district chief executive no amo act no a nuoma bebre documents bebre wo ho a wo mo recommendation say wo mo emfamra ban na aban so nye de emomodin ye be sese no a ye ka say no sika ni ho enti budget allocations of budget yes ye dey call various district assembly so say honorable wo Itafo Pankro no wonu ankasa district young district assembly and nansi an equity busa say wo mo budget pa no wo mo revenue aban e de ma wo wana
common fund
yes
common fund
yes
common fund
and your common fund
no but say you are asking me I'm telling you
also need there also on any day
common fund sika bebre wo
ho is a percentage of the total whatever
one see a dema district chief executive no mutimi run administration no na ye kama wo ebia ye yi kwan feeder roads bi ye say construct ekrom ye biebie ye friend say gutters anase mantem ye construct sa no manyina ye say district chief executive no na hwe sa no manyina aye enti we de ye nkasa ma no wa ne ye kan ne say o mampanyi sa de we a kan wa bakosem no ho no enya de papa bo modern na ye wadwuma na amanfo hu ne say there be district no eno nti ne kan ne say ye constitution yes participatory democracy enti se betimi ayesa na o ma no a ye various districts no yes wo motimi participate in governance na etimi aboa yen ama o man no etimi atumpon enti sa de ye dada ye ho
ampa Bida say agbe so ndo be ni tia wa na yatumi ahwe na yato aso messages bibre o ha na so brepam na gibre na matumi akenkan kakra ade ama na yatumi ahwe ekọ we de mama shati influence say home so asem and Rebecca you've been a spokesperson for the Ministry of Education na Edu Watch educational watch for so Edu Watch for no day say me by say what's in social now kwala na baba ye no people ni bia leki Emma Wike for a press conference say it is never true. Bia any. Because we are saying no, the aye hunu, and they say ayampa. Say people should be a lake yampa. Ama ya cancel some of the papers. What is going on?
Well, Didi Kaino, Mammy found to just say there haven't been any official communication. If we West African Examination Council for Anasa WAEC, IHS, almost Sudia, say papers be a leaky. Name no a year da Ukwadan and Nasa Yawadan, and the Ministry of Education at the Betuja say there have been a reschedule, which is different from cancellation. There has been a reschedule, which is different from cancellation of physics and a business management also. Now, no reasons were given from the Ministry of Education. Neither have I seen any reasons also coming from West African Examination. Until then, no, I can only wait for official communication from West African Examination Council. Having been part of the Education Select Committee of Parliament, one of our first meetings na Opani Mr. Siama Dayano, Education Select Committee, we met WAEC somewhere in June or something, June or July. And Yemomatsu Tese, allegations of leakages of papers is becoming one too many. And WAEC should be able to convince us and assure us. So on the back of COVID-19 and its difficulties, and how are the structure of the education system are here because of COVID-19, can WAEC be able to convince the committee? And I remember I asked this question. Say, after the facts will convince you and answer will assure us, let us also know normal audio to kwemu, so that we will not find or see, say, there are some leakages of papers bill. And they convinced us and they assured us. They gave us the processes so that you will not find leakages. So I am going to be very disappointed if, say, the reasons for the reschedule are leakages. But as we speak, you and I cannot confirm.
Say any leakages, any leakage be an aba. Date no mo sign a research some kwara na ntwere.
You and I cannot know.
Say e bia ye say bia nso na ato na nso to na
and electricity. Oh yeah, guess what?
And I say beba me say enye say bia.
Hypothesis na wo ye no.
Say bia enye nso na ato am obi antumi mpie kwa bonten. Enye say bia electricity na edum ntia kwara no ntumi emprint question papers. And no ntumi print question papers. Enye bibia na asi. Ya nti bibi potin bi asi ye betu aka say disaster bi betu aka say no nti na bi omo na say enye leakage a what then the Russian?
But I will disappoint you.
Disappoint me.
I will disappoint you. Say the okay now guesswork. Because me no me na no ye nim the entia amana basa. Ye twen say why for e de omo official documentation and I say communication ba batudwa. Am ye hunu ni say oh Agya Kwabena someone na wo kan o UTV maybe ye twemu na I said da memene da no em say ye nukre o and I say Agya Kwabena ensem na odi tudwa na nya nukre na emom no say any and I must have shadow na day aba. But Agya Kwabena, let's discuss the issue in a holistic manner. Leakages of papers cannot help the education system that we so much desire to see. Say education system no a bit one of the best as compared to Finland no American. What I've always said, say oh yeah, a bit of researcher Finland even primary school and junior high school for no. Some of them are doctorate degrees. Oh, what is it? And the Ghana education system drew no, whereby education will be that robust. Education bet me adia in neighborhood say yes, it is churning out the kind of resources and as a human resources are here. Because if clearly there's a certain disconnect between what is taught in our schools and the employers in here, then clearly there is a problem. So we have a lot of challenges with the education system, which over the years, for the past 5 years, you try as much as possible to deal with the challenges. Very unfortunate and very disappointing. Very, very disappointing to now conclude, say, WAEC were not able to properly superintend over the examination. I am leakage is diaba. But
for now ye nim obutu ka na and adeti na wife won to me nka se bibia ni ho a se ese so musu maye hu omutu me nka se we ya o ye sign kwada no so hwe no ye tu ahyeda without any reason
time cross on to say that no panom
kwada nkokọ twra de no look at the kind of psychological trauma the kids will go through.
I agree. And intra make say enya de papa maye. But yen train ye who reasons now why kete baba.
Why are they
because
delaying?
You know students da. There was this video that I watched, I think on TV3 or so. Na time wa UTAC for call strike no. Na TV3 for call ye interview go University of Ghana. Abante bi o interview no. O say no. Ono the exams also true because why you read what so they also saying now also training in ya. Not just say baba dia ba mu no. What you say one tron at that time now. We didn't come what you say. Entino unfortunate. I disappointing say obi be prepare exam for so long a time. So the coach exams. And upon our coach na no catch and say exams na maso. Na emum no on san ko twen emra wonim. No san ko sua de ni bio. Ayaya. Because enya na meboa. Ayaya. But I want to wait and know the rationale behind the rescheduling of the paper. But yeah, education committee. Meaning say me chairman, meaning commodity. But if it happens that it is indeed because of a leakage, we will summon WAEC for them to answer questions. Now you who the NTR and I said the ma sa leakage is not me by. If there are any recommendations that we will get from Speaker of Parliament, we will do that. Because come on, Ghana education, the certificates near the bar. Most of our kids and as a young men to me the call schools like I say UK and US. There are some African countries that their certificates cannot even warrant them. The kind of Ghanaian admissions to me or UK and US. So she tells you that we have a certain kind of reputation that we need to protect as a state. And we cannot allow that reputation and as integrity, the certification of Ghana and Yenyano. Yabama Waik Fatuna say, no, we will not allow that. We will not allow that. But if that is what is going to happen, then of course, if there are sanctions that are supposed to be meted out with the appropriate quarters, either with the Ministry of Education and as a committee of Parliament in charge of education, then the Ministry of Education should be able to do that. The Select Committee of Education should also be able to do that. But the best Ghana for, especially our for Brantene Mabawana, Sade ya we are to so it is not anticipated. Say son or sayba. But in the instance where a leakage, it means that there are some people that were going to have an advantage over the others. Yes. And you should be happy. Say bias when you questions and if there is a leakage. Na say wo yonko ane no kwetena exams no a question no and also be na tena say aso questions aso questions ni na wo na wo do better no de kwam polika ba and ante polina ba wo de wiemfo ba wo no there is no way obenya questions ni bi ntu de wo kwetena ho what you say na no de wonya questions na kwakwotra wherever you are you should be happy for yourself that the injustice and also unfairness na nke ba be create no WAEC has been able to, even though
WAEC
the bank will have to stop with. That's from so bad, yeah, definitely. Because
So the questions in free
doctor or that WAEC no. Leakage in team free baby.
No, correct. But senior, I say Hana the TN say WAEC works with certain kind of people who might breach their oath of office. Yeah. All these people almost set questions, you know. They are teachers from our schools.
No. Be a certain question be anti question. Be a dream so I'm actually
okay, that's fine. And so yes, that is fine. But obi betimi a breaching the oath of office. Why? John Dramani Mahama 2012-2016 when he swore the oath of office from we say obi make sure say corruption in Ghana here. So was a breaching corruption.
Internet, I don't know.
Maybe you could say allegiance. So breach here. And I will breach. So now okay. Senior one breach. 2012 John Mahama and corruption idea obetu na sekra at the time now Professor Nose na investigating what I say so he himself breached the oath of nti the embassy me chere say
okoye ne go see say obechi ye no mo investigate go see say
the embassy me chere say madaroma mfonso na aba awofo ne emrante ne mabawa saadi ya wi atom yesrem
me problem kakra mo no say adentina okay wo de mo no nsi na me ko say
the na ye hwehwa ne say we will have an exams that is free from some of these challenges are the unfairness baba nemum for us to be able to make sure say unfairness in no even when there is a mistake on the part of WAEC if we needed to make sure say that challenge and answer mistake no enkoye kese na nsa amfa some amount of unfairness enfa mramranten so because results now benya no and no na kire say wa be e okrum ha na na kire so betima medicine
me wo problem bi na me doctor ne be for question anu amane WAEC sabe wo mo ne wo mo se bia wo ma na ti wo ba bi na wo mo pa anu bu akonta kire ye eso mu bu akonta kire ye it is some set of questions ada man kwara na nkwa mun say nkwada no e kwa kwatwere na kwada na ready anopara makokotwere no na mo se man kwada na enkonkotwere ma reschedule without any reason. Is it appropriate?
Me jiri say unfortunate me my victim of this yeah the three cry we O level kotena fie be 2 weeks 1984 na sa frɛ say me twere me say me ka kyerɛ papa say me nko ko no ma twere of deck na ma qualify for 6 nti me say me nko biem nti papa ko fa na damfu bi ene me am elementary school teacher no be kan ya ansa na me ko that year so na light off ti near the bobo ni suade ne ekotena fi unim so we school bi kura the books ache na sa frɛ say ansa me twere bi into a very unfortunate situation and it is unfair say omo beka say ya reschedule people no be sine omo ntimi ma reason bia the obvious reason obi abeso bedwen say a leakage because leakage no taba nta na obi abedwen be say the MP kan ye no yantwen na omo enka omo yi na oka say examiner me share marking for WAEC 87 2017 na me jai marking
and we check papa
the me rise ya bedru zonal chief examiner A level time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Nya examiner bia na set question only just about 5 senior within the subject and I'm set a question what set a question so who nim time a question e beba and all leak
okay
e bi ko question e makrada and subject bia nipa be say 5 and I'm moderate question you know say different people are setting the chief examiner ne omo actually mu kakra no no accommodate question here be am moderate questions so am moderate 5 set of questions or more the final say government objective is sister mbo moderate 60 sa 5
that's right
people 2 year 10 sa 5 mu wi anu waja ma subject officer into onu nko na why final selection chief examiner kra woni and a selection no onko fa one set so objective for a system no we ma fa 5 for firia 10 year firia 15 year firia say no aka bom no dey aye that year no questions no in this of here management in physics you kra say nke leaky kra no a they have other questions or quickly come there no beba
That they are printed.
yes
Printed.
yes
For all the numbers.
And you know, fan say more moderate 5 set of questions, 5 years continuous, more 25 set of questions. So it's a baku likia.
Mo fa ba kun betu
I didn't know for bakuma. And quickly no, and when you zenka, omo beye unless it be a dan one or pano announcement in who say leakage aba. ne bi atam no de bekwa ebeye yi be distribution no
abeche
yi because me cry o level me ebike
Bible knowledge.
yes your town now say na rating English and maths nkwa na objective o
Yeah.
enti you say atwere Old Testament paper 1 first no ya twere New Testament yeti ho a ya twere paper na helicopter be see school park so no mbejeje questions no no say yempie 15 minutes yen samra no the questions for fraba and ya twere edu team say leakage no adoso na there na me dwene ho no say Ghana nkwa na leakage ba na won say Nigeria for atwa omo yim da whatever happen no on betwere the case 83 and Ghana for if Nigeria ba no as early as February that are near 12 exams in May June wonam 18 honorable they say ni kumasi 18 ni French lie actually we dey for form 5 question dey o yeah turn market and do 83 ina and man affect 84 no because why ke for na ni bom ho so and man affect 84 no enti se bibi si leakage bia ba there's no way say any other person except waeka you know maybe subject officer no and the final selection I thought they become the call for proofreading for English department from there no na call printing I thought they be so leakage in timi free distribution onim say they in Begu district police station in the school na actually exams no the dano actually na no and cover questions
subjects
but no ho no kwa no so leakage me ba ho me ka say na me hwe exams so in those days I actually the secondary school no na onye examiner you can be the supervisor headmaster crowd here onye examiner you can be the supervisor me cheche papers me cheche wie ya me be kai questions na aka na short by one me nko aso na me gina sa table no ho a me di man invigilator score ti me dwene ho na mu se na police ni so eben me yeda na ko busa se masa wafa bai edi me yet to say de me move na me share da de me sa bo ne che na question paper ni shi
wow
a che say so oni subject teacher no na aya kwan senti aha and those say you need there untimi nka say leakage
That was a smart move then.
untimi nka say leakage and it's a leakage beba and I say be free printing room ho and I say distribution you know the process of distributing you know and the yana me wonder say adentina this morning e ko untimi nya military jet bi
Helicopter chopper.
em fa se bia district capital do benya park bia bitimi dey akosi so e dey akọ police station yo
Yes.
because normally no ya na questions no boto bi ma kredo da no enti no police station no ba bia room no dey safa no police for no be key na e di bi and na ta headmasters no in the headmaster no unya access to the room because key no will be ho and na the all access to the room so also unya access to enti me gidi say mra so say omtimi fa kwa bi so there's another way so omtimi e dia check there was a time bi na me my suggestion because say questions no kura no say they be prevent malpractices with room ho no kura no objective say no obi question wa bit ma ba obi question 30 the same question om nyina answer but say 1 2 3 no shouldn't be the same questions question 1 na question 50 no issue 2 akoshe say a level time no near we supervisor or draw sitting arrangement
And I'm afraid of serialization and
or draw sitting arrangement in is a case collusion be about them wha what you say what draw be say at the point be index number 1 at here 2 to here say is a case collusion about near here wo baby atini baby a honorable tea bit ma say mommy no bit ma collude bet ya hwe mo answer say anya de kro o meet much better crowd ya ko but e hwe am answers no enya de kro no ne jam nti no e betimi the data yi na ba ne serialize questions
e doc police na otu ni chene ko si sei
o me hand over ma na yem say omo de ne ko share guy room kakra na am say omo di motu no
okay
yeah di motu
okay and as mensa ya hwe na de ko ye edu watch for jom di kankan ye no
before then edu watch no why ke ankase leakage ama keke omo ka say we say na home economics practicals and omo see there edu watch de buy na ye instruction we say practicals no be kwa compare samples out the buy practicals no enti normally ya de that sample questions no ebre schools no and we hunu materials ya o copy me o level agric enti bia wish ni enema bia copy na omo label no enti e basa no a se o ye teacher o ye smart ya o betimi hunu se o okay sample no ba ko ye nkate aburo enti match the questions ya betimi possible say e be ba buro hu nyina in the data in them say edu watch phone who why can you om de buy no say instruction on the brom some fan coserity samples no hu
but we saw
na nye actual questions.
We saw questions of physics.
Yeah.
Ditto. Yes.
Now the man dey ditto as compared to the Aman.
Oh. Why was this?
And currently class so no minim yana social media they don't even find WhatsApp. As so investigate schools be
11 schools.
Yes, 11 schools. Maintain say why ke for na nkasa kan dey.
Questions no. So you cannot compare what you saw on social media.
Number? The questions were already distributed to the centers.
No, hold on.
Exams no man.
And you go who's that questions no.
Oh. Was that centers in the romantic question?
So how did you compare it?
You see, I think say WAEC's integrity is in serious question right now.
Say you find say na me pese bisa se musem. Say you find say enye de edu watch for no e kan na ye WAEC for no de dia. Why then today reschedule?
Why cancel the exams? Because two papers, business
but
management.
the first one so come with the first. The first one no can first ya me ya no say my and that is a question.
Okay, so this is what happened. The morning at the dawn of the exams, you know, then questions started flying on social media.
By your account.
You know, management, business management, and then physics questions. You know, ditto.
Then to ask him.
As what compare?
No, you see, questions are leaky. You cancel exams. What is the conclusion?
No cancellation.
No cancellation.
No, now you reschedule. No, that's it. That's just exams now. Questions are leaky. Now exams no, you reschedule. What is your conclusion?
Questions were not leaky.
There were physics questions flying all over on social media. We saw some. Why was it rescheduled?
You and I does not know. So why don't we wait for WAEC to bring out more communication?
Agya Kwabena, earlier this year, the same Africa Education Watch here accused WAEC of leaking questions on online. I think that was for the BEC people also. And who began saying WAEC were threatening to take Africa Education Watch to court. We saw the statement that came from WAEC. And Nina be able to can't say Africa Education your friend is saying WAEC for some key questions here. And the same Africa Education Watch have come out with the same leakages. WAEC have just suspended exams, 2 papers, which was scheduled to be written on Wednesday, has scheduled those papers. And we are sitting here having the same conversation. And WAEC is not threatening to sue Africa Education Watch anymore. You see, and so clearly there's something wrong. And you see, let's not even pretend to play the ostrich. But some examination leakages, a big business. And we know what goes on. It's a big business.
No,
it's a big business. No, when you are writing a do exams time, you see people, so-called middlemen, people who can, they just say we can have access to this, we can have access to that. and they team up sometimes WAEC officials seriously involved because processes are doc describe it here. It is almost impossible for an outsider to be able to leak the questions. It comes from within. And it clearly a normal akoso over the years no actually say there is an entrenched cartel at WAEC who are conducting our exams as business, these examination leakages as business. That is what the fact says. And we can pretend as if say, oh, we don't know what the problem is, and Africa among four accuse WAEC wrongly, and WAEC for issue statement to clarify the issues and all that. We can pretend. But if we really want an answer to the
problem, who can say me say there seems to be a cartel WAEC woman na ehwe ka ho bia omo say omafa leakage no say business woman as we speak say nhwehwemu bia beto abonte me yehunu say WAEC for asemese obenten kowe ewa ha womo dwuma omo ye no nti e ka say cartel na eno anye too harsh on the part of
Ejakwabna unim the entire up to date yinya any confirmation of those suspicions na yewon because leakage is nisia why they investigate WAEC.
No investigating us who said the being a so
leakage nisia why the baba catch us and no fire bonnie they won't.
I'm not that.
Yes, but would they come out and tell us?
No.
Into the beyond as this year, WAEC for the investigations. You see, it is about high time we put WAEC and their activities to proper scrutiny.
I want to know problem. Kakra say, why can investigate yasem? Or investigate you know? One more say for any she. Into for any she ya. And then you bet to me the general so I can say. Cartel be or what one more it's not to say but to me I want to say baby sir the chain of maybe from where the paper is coming from baby a bedrua so that was examination center hono say and for why
exactly those the solutions to the problem. But I'm saying say we cannot have this conversation without WAEC. And afibia your trade exams na leaky yes WAEC for na akwa investigations. We can't allow this thing to Jacobna obia adwuma mu unya problem or ha one investigate you. You allow for an independent body to do an inquiry and find out what is causing these perennial leakages of exams. But at the end of bana WAEC for investigating no or my punishing the papa come be na the asem no yakata so. The following year the same problem resurfaces again and then we keep recycling the problem. And I think it's about high time we have an independent examination body which will be responsible for supervising the work that WAEC is doing and do proper scrutiny. Where so WAEC perennial leakage is so I call it for
and they say you can use another word rather than the cartel.
No? I call it
appropriate word be able to be used instead they say use cartel.
Didn't I make a cartel? They say you see didn't I make me use the word cartel? They say at examination leakage is not cost and you need power to me. And young be
and the baby no more yet. But baby, I'm more year no. As we speak, you know, you need baby quarter and we show more year. Until to me pinpoint is a WAEC. One a walk.
Until I say there seem to be. Me can say there is.
Okay.
There seem to be a yako yese. And kufubi WAEC oma for me cartel. Omode oma fa examination leakage see as omajuma.
So ususu say.
A yako yese because of how the thing keeps happening every now and then. And OSHA processes examination in firm and how it gets to its final destination now. It doesn't show say a nipa bako intimi yes sir. You need people collaborating say okay you fa we nko ha you say yembu sil we ni. Kwabena, how do we solve this problem? You see, apart from the fact say some of us support the idea of having another examination entity other than WAEC where people will opt to choose which of the exams they want to write. Say they're in other jurisdictions. There are different set of exams. You know, you can write your SAT, you can write TOEFL, you can write IELTS, whatever it is. I think WAEC's inefficiency is as a result of the monopoly they enjoy in our system. It's purely because of the monopoly.
Nigeria too.
Yes, they don't have any competitor. So, at the end of the day, now we don't have any choice than to go and write the same WAEC exams now. University WAEC. And we need a different WAEC seriously need a competitor so that the the factors of demands and supply will just correct the inefficiencies, because Ocean Africa for a movie away from WAEC exams no more another paper because people think there's quality, and as Ocean as schools no are beginning to admit more people who have other certificates, because they believe that those certificates are of more quality than WAEC now. WAEC will set up. So that's the first solution. The second solution is the human factors in the transportation of our exam papers. And you see, the more you run things through the many people, the more there's an opportunity for errors, and the more there's an opportunity for people to be able to commit crimes. Then our WAEC exams, WAEC up to date for how many years in your conducting exams? WAEC still have not been able to, come up with any innovative approach to reduce the human factor in examination distribution. Then, WAEC omo sika bebrebe omo jeje, don't they invest in research? WAEC entime a team of scientists or experts together say, look, we've been having these perennial examination leakages for a number of years. A solution for us that will reduce the human factor in examination distribution. WAEC entime yes sir. What I say? We keep having all these problems. I feel so technology. So say because of technology, a normal baby easier to do. How is WAEC, harnessing on recent technological advancement to eliminate the human factors and ensure say, sir, questions say leaking when it could be reduced to the barest minimum. There be you better say less than be leaky. Now WAEC baba stories actually ombetra paper mu yaka say oh you need nti a omotwam. When we know clearly say sir dey na omotwam is because there's been a leakage. Into this problem, I think say we are just deceiving ourselves when we pretend that we don't know the problem and we keep going around the cycle. Let us put WAEC on their toes. Yama WAEC frontier say they hold the destiny of the young people of this country in their hands. They cannot afford to make some of these key mistakes. I mean, some of these things are. I mean, more baby, and anka the piano, there are leakages and BB. I'm not sure you still have your job. Until we need that oversight responsibility for WAEC. They say WAEC for as if someone do problem be about or once you investigate it, no investigate no the report 1 page maybe they will forget until the next examination cycle and the same problems comes again and we say WAEC they come say they are going to investigate the same thing again. So we cannot have this thing, this vicious cycle over and over again.
Okay, me that say Mensa Thompson so near ten can agbe the abeni ye ma no ye so ye betumi atena se so mine ama ya ye niam ahodo bi etisa sense wo hwe a and now the daily graphic and also I didn't don educational system is new strategic plan the Messiah the ekoba nyina with ohawa nkwada komu achechirefo komu ene the teacher say ekoba ni say ya ugidi say ebema homasua akose de hwe kwase betumi akosan say challenges na wo ho no gonum abeye part of the challenges no so ya man kwada no homasua na ato apikakra ugidi say e dey dey say ye pa as of mine o dey koso yi
eja medasi mame enta say these examination malpractices and now say exams na leaky papers na aba ne ho nkwane ba no use Dr. Sebo so waka almost nyina from the time in 80s na basi yen twa me use wo so twa o level to say the yen last batch me twa me there unicorn house adum e ho na me twa me there wo share sa no ma ya fa sa no ma we problem every year bia students be twa exams bia as we sa no ma we say no kurani wo ba na wo ba twa sa exams we bi wo twa physics and also wo twa management and also any of the related subject na sa dey we ato ba wo hu psychologically no wo dwen ama wo ba no so dwen and honorable ebi and the constituency nkola ni bi afre no me my receive calls nkola ni bi ani yesi etwa papers nyina mu na me se da bi ye ntwa nyina mu yesi physics and management nko na mo ayede etwa mu nti munye dem munya abotre na abamu mpanyimfo waye kene womo ewo education ministry no womo nhwe na womo nsiesie saa no man na mejiri se African education watch for no womo bomodin caution waye kefo all the time say there be saa exam leakages na eba no ha adwendodo mo momodin se mo bema saa no man ebetimi akofo ejira jine wu de mo de kumase ne nkran for but nkrase kakra no a wo mo twere exams no a woni boarding house yetimi baase wo mo efi baabi ne yedu wo mo abakrom district capital afa ni e pedan ama wo mo akwakodam ntontom ribi baabi wo mo da ayeden aduane wo mo di eden na ukotena paper ho na wo twere paper ne wie anasa wo nya ntwere kra so exams na leaky nti yesi mu hold on hwe adwen a wo de kwa kwatwere adwen ne ye de twere exams na sa wo kwatwere paper yesi wo da bi exams no leaky ye ma mu ntwere biem na wo ka se ipa kro no wadi baba eno wo mo ye faces ne hu kra ne ben wo de faces for no man tenten beto manimu a wan hwe a wo mass ne wo mo ayi ne mintimi nye but wo the management ne beto ho a mezu ne madakura ne cheza me wada emi kura ne metimi aidan asolve enti exams twere no enya de kuma to da bia eyese wo di sa no man nyina go trim no akwa twere na wo ho atọ enti enkola no ekwan ye omo fa so atete nkola no na nkola no ekọ sa psychological trauma no why the for yes omo adwen nkola no ho no omo dwen awofo no sa free education concept abai no eso won faso but the fact of the matter is say challenges be brain so ewom enti say ekwakoba say enkwala no use some short period of time 3 years no omakwa akwatwere exams no akwatwere exams ebi a teacher for quarantine prepare ye wo mo enoma bebre aye C1 time na ekobas wo akwatwere exams na sa anoma we sa ekoba biemu a eja kwabra ha adwen papa yi se wo kọ various universities na afi na nkwala no wo mo amo ekọ second badge no University of Ghana ni all other tertiary institutions free education for nkwala no omo eco school no omo ba na wo hwe wo mo level of confidence preparedness na etore bi atimu se no ma bebre no wo mo esuro kakra because wo mo yem prepare wo yie and wo mo anya kwan wo tertiary institution nti saa no ma we a eba nyina no ye besre waye for say ye can continuously ye can they should be able to identify where the problems are coming from no mo ntimi nsia no se de be ya ye ntimi nkotwa sabon say exams ana honorable Vincent Asefua no wo can say oh Finland we call basic schools grampo a wo mo ekura PhD yes I no kra but Ghana has say hwe schools no kra structures and the city e wo yen kra se wono no constituency o say twetwe wo ho de ho ye kama so but ko me kra se ho ko Dr. Osebonsu baby ofi say mensa tons de mo de kumasi nkran mba like nkrasi de no kura ni eja kwabra nya agro emohye papa ye enti ye besre waye for se omunya omuntutu ye na yankwala no ebre ye mpese yankwala no bekwa akwatwere exams na omafeli efeli a Ghana for ne efeli eba nsa so a na menyi ni se ebetimi a prepare wo man empuntu enti ye besre wo se djuma na wo mu edie no eye djuma pa na emum esinto bebre abamu a so wo mo hwe no mo correct sa no ma
enti ya kan nyina na ehumehwe ho nsam na ye ka na kamede baku bi fam na ka etumi ahwe na so topics baku ho isa hwe etumi ka ho asem titru pa no gini fo nsam semi yese unu abodju se hia na wasenso edesi wudie ho na use kwa de se ka ofo abodju ni nunso no mu bi esanse ye mampeni ane Cote d'Ivoire mampeni Ivory Coast mampeni ko ho na omo ko ho no sa constitutional changes of constitution say yɛbɛyɛ na bɛtumi atena so bio yɛbɛyɛ na bɛtumi atena so bio no sɛ Bible Watara oyɛ bi ɛna ne nua wɔ Guinea so kɔyɛ bi a ɔne n'asrafo ampini saa nneɛma yi a ɛkɔ bɛyi ɛne kuukuu ne saa nneɛma yi no nsusuasoɔ bɛn ɛna ɛnya ɛwɔ ebibire mu atɔ ama ahodo yi so yɛn bambɔ ho nsam so agbe mɛhyɛ sɛ firi so esan sɛ ɛhɔ ne ofo de paa no yɛka bambɔ ho asɛm a ɛte sɛn meka na yɛde aba bi si yɛn Ghana yɛn so yɛde yɛ so sɛ National Security Coordinator ɛka I think the Monday no so Tuesday ni say our democracy is under threat due to lawlessness. It is a democracy is under threat due to lawlessness. Nasa or may be so bra Liberia civil war ban should be on should be Liberia war. And so refugees do na bagana she Togo dey see ye wom do ba afife ebegu bebre Cote d'Ivoire dey ba ye hwe bi omufre ye do begu bebre enti no ka ba ko a ka ye nyina enti se Guinea bibi sa akwakoba na se yes National Security Coordinator to because say our democracy is at risk or is under threat sir, due to lawlessness sir. And then I catch the
Kwabena does so I can say what by medium and that's my feel. Mame and can say near Ecoso on African continent, Titru or West Africa sub-region. Efa coup d'etat a resurfacing a worrying trend papa. In those days in 90s no na coup d'etat no rampant in Africa and more importantly West Africa sub-region. But a moment yehu say democracy aba say kabima minka bi amemu emra ne hyehyeye da ho no eba ye no etimi ma coup d'etat no eba fom kakra but emrensante kakra ni no ekamia yese sa na oma no ese kanya no ho biem because of the fact say ne ewo kan yese yen democracy no edum pempenso a ekamia yese politicians no at the democracy no did ensemble they are abusing the fundamentals of democratic pillars and no enama yedu samri the tenet of democracy no actually say omanpanyi bia wo citizens ebeye wadom ato abade ama wo no say hwe woman yi so mayen oman nyina hwe wonsa emu agudie emu nipa emu no ma nyina no ye de ahye wonsa say bomoden toto no ma yie say de be ya oman no ebetimi etumpon na akonanim no oman no ababe kra behwe enti wo hwe yen constitution yi a bibia kire say oman panyin na bibia hye ne nsa eye say wotimi atoto no ma yie na oman no enya esunsu sanso enti wo so ayi krampo a wo so ayi de kire say oman no ebi bia no ekura ne mu a se bibi etosin a wono ene yesi yebusa no na nuoma ekoso ewo Africa sub-region ye friend say West Africa no kire ye mpepe se democracy no ena aman ahodo no mpanyimfo amampanyimfo no wo mo abuse constitution se Guinea ni amasa no ma no esie no afi nko a nyame ncha adom ye mampanyi wono no ye ECOWAS chairman afi nko ano the term of office kumienu ena almost no ababako esi wo Chad ebi esi wo Mali ena ebi susu esi wo Guinea saa no manyina no kire yen se dabi yen democracy no na yen panyimfo no eyamoamoa mra no de ahye omo ankasansa se na wo bo Alasan Watara say wo mo kwato aba no obo modin achinchim o man nsa ene ono wo se wo change constitution no wo change constitution na then wo dey serve wo no ankasa ne political interest wo dey bon ho eban the same thing ana Professor Conde wɔn nso copy the same characteristics dabi sɛ menua a wɔwɔ Ivory Coast wɔtumi asesa constitution no na wɔtumi awi ne election there me susu ma menye bi ɛna wɔn nso no wɔasesa constitution before so wɔn ba bɛyɛ referendum no ɔman no research nyinaa kyerɛ sɛ ɔman no emu nkyikyɛmu 76% wɔn nso wɔn mpene so bɛɛ wɔsi kyinkyin atwan me na meyɛ ɔman panyin nti nea mepɛ ɛna mɛyɛ ɛna ɔbɔ mmɔden asesa constitution no na election time wɔsa ekyinkyim electoral process ɛna owu ni yɛ ɛna citizens dem sɛ dɛ bi papa no baabi ɔde ɔman no kɔ no ɛnya ade papa titiriw ɛyɛ sɛ tribes a wɔ Guinea no wakyekyɛ ɔman no mu ama ɛyifoɔ ɛne wei ɛde asi ɛne wei no mu di nti basabasa yɛ bebree ɛna aba ɔman no mu na nkurɔfoɔ de hu dɛ bi papa no deɛ ɔkɔ no yanhwɛ yi a ɔbɛma biribi ayɛ dɛn esumaduru yɛn na wohwɛ mpanyinfoɔ no kwadu a Guineafoɔ no ɛde abɔ ɔmanpanyin no a ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ ɔmanpanyin no dwirimudie katahyehyɛ corruption kronobɔ ɛwɔ aban mu no adokoro no nti ɛno ɛyɛ key factor. The second one is mismanagement of the economy. So ɔman sikasɛm ɔman ntotoyɛ no kyerɛ sɛ wa mismanaging no ma bebrebe ama citizens no ɛho ɛkyere wɔn papaapa yi ne ɛtɔ so mmiɛnsa wɔn se poverty sɛ ahokyerɛ paa no ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ ɔman no mu poverty paa poverty ayi Mr. Sebons wo na obetimi aka na yi ohia buruburu paa na adokro nkrofo wɔ krom hɔ bɛdɛ ɔmanpanyin ne nkrofo no wɔn ho atɔ sei hyɛpɛ
moto marketuam
ya tutu wɔ marketuam ama nneɛma ɛkɔ soro enti saa nneɛma no ɛno ɔmo egyina so na gya kwabra ne ama democracy no wo kase ayi ɛposo a dangerous threat no to West Africa's origin and for that matter the whole of Africa ne say amanya etwa ye ho ahia nyina no strategically ni omo ye ne say wo mo sa constitution no ewie a the second a year omo ye ne say omo manipulate election no manipulation of election no omo abomodian manipulation election no na wo mo edu omo nkrofo akwa hyehyɛ electoral commission nti wono ankasa wo appoint electoral commissioner second third empanyimfo nyina no appoint wo mo enti ukoto aba no a no abomode no wakyinkyim nsa no win election the next angle are dangerous biemunis judiciary no ubehu so mo supreme court wo mo ye friend say high court appeal court ne hu koreba o mampanyin ne be appoint sankrofo nyina no wo mo akwakwahye ho enti election do no one hwe ye now the petition they call hwan say supreme court ubehu aso o mo chiachia mra na aye osiu antansa ubehu na bibia no o mu asay no enti ama democracy no in Africa as a continent no eya ye huhu a samre babia ewo no ya nhwe ne yi a democracy na ye nyina epese ye bo ho ban kabimami nkabi amamuo antoto ye ne mra da ho no ye pese ye bo ho ban no ebeto ape enti sese pa no ne ekoso no ayade a pose a dangerous threat to all of us. Sese Guinea sade we asi na ebiso asi wo Mali ye won kwalabrem me Dr. Bonsu wo ka say Kwame Nkrumah time ye nyini ye ba no ye so Ghana nyumbi wo ho ye say Ghana Guinea Mali eja wo to bi
Ghana Guinea pipa
Vesa do to be ana want to oh cafe
ba I chop a
what dance na wo kan debi sa
o say say ampa chop a kuma say friend Ghana Guinea Mali
yeah
wo ayi
Krofom area ho
Krofom area ho Ghana Guinea Mali choba
adam kokuma se
kokodidi ho
enti ne wo sa anyum na ne yeto enti sa asem say yetimi asi ewo Mali
na kosi Guinea
ye musa ye ho se Ghana for so no edan ni ye Ghana ku asi dawo ku asi wo Ghana da ye tu aban ye guda Kwame Nkrumah ku na etu no 1966 every Kwame Nkrumah penso 72 78 79 81 nyina kunku a na si ye nanso so no Rollins time wo ye the last school 1981 na yebo modern Ghana for epiapia no na wiase nyina epiapia say nyina yenko democracy no wo di ewura democratic era in 1992 besi enne ku bia ne den ensi wo Ghana enti Dr. Bonsu while in political science he can say Rawlings has ended all the he has settled all political coups in Ghana.
Yeah.
Enti ama ye wo good history say Ghana de e come here say coup no e twa no no. But say democracy no say abuse the pillars of democracy. Say ye accountable. O man panyi enya accountable to anybody. Oh me dem aye nya mo pa bia mo nye. E bia corruption e koso. Amemu ntoto ye na aye se o man panyi no eye na ototo o man no say de be ya timamufo ebenya the dividends of democracy. Say mpuntu obetimi akoso awo me mantamu. Ye ka education say Vincent so wo kan ni. Education e dia ne ye say ye nkwala no mbenye school papa akọ ya setere mbetimi aye kama ye nam krom a hu se krom ene nam ye mantam bibia ye kama no man ne mu aye den ajo o man panyi ntutu saa no ma no na mmom corruption koso na poverty edoso na inequalities edoso wo society no a adwenbone bebe obitrim na wanhwe ni a na edisa ku no edeba ye ka ye ni military for I mean that's my area sir ye ni military for mpanyimfo Asia amanfo so Ghana de saa de ne entimi nsi because military men no say no omo adwemu eda ho enti setete no ene god some of them are my colleagues ye PhD and all that good but the fact of the matter is so almost say no we need to be able to preserve our democracy see etimi preserve your democracy no nama mpuntuo etimi yeden eba but the moment I hear who say there is decadence say corruption ekoso na inequalities ekoso na psychologically no wo say nkrofo adwen enti ye besre ye various government a omo Africa no say democracy has come to police us but the moment politicians are abusing the tenet of democracy no omo do omo pe eye no ma na manfo ntimi nya democracy no so fast wo say democracy has to bring development and no na we are say Britain and as Western world no omo di biti we are seeing na adwen omo si democracy ya dia etimi ede development there den mpuntu edeba but you know smartly unim no ma China for ye they are infiltrated into it say there is a big battle between China and the Western world am as I say no China for a new path at the African continent say there be any democracy in Kwan ye this year your mind nemom aye no ma obetimi aye ma citizens in China for say in Africa has say uko ebia Tunisia uko Ethiopia uko Kenya uko all those countries now China for aye no ma pi wo railway China for na aye wo stadium China for na aye Uganda wo airport wo no China for nko na aye all this development in Africa and he said what year wo mampanyi his excellency Nanado you know recently will make a certain statement to be but if you are within the international architecture you'll be able to listen to him very well what can I say no the way we are say they call one say you be adapted the Chinese model no it is not about promotion of democracy but it is about the promotion of development normal citizens in a panel say a rules now we are then universities now we see schools ahodo na wo ye hospitals na wo ye ebia I mean airport wo si sisa no ma no eno ena ma oman etimi ye den eye oman mo da mutu kwan I mean all over the world se mo kwa brochire ho na honorable Vincent den pa na ya muhu den na muhu wo say wo represent Ghana fe ye hu wa say yes abranti but then na mo reflect mo ba mo my Ghana mo what reflect in you say mako Britain mako Canada mako South Africa mo ta ko South mo ko na mo development mo market udu Johannesburg pa wo mo airport the way I mean who sa no ma na oba wo ma mu a yes smartly say then na mesumi nya metimi aiden aboa me man etumpon me say ade ba ko a na me de pe president Nanado Asempa said no, he has lived in developed well watna UK oman a agidin wo wi ase pa yie watna France Paris watna ho pa yie enti I was expecting say so man panyin ebedi wo man we a based on the broad sense of living
exposure.
At least it will betimi aye bibi magically betimi transform Ghana in terms of our economy, in terms of our development. No market Ghana, but I'm not really seeing no,
sir.
I am not really seeing in summary no. So in summary no, near me can say near ACC ewo Guinea na edu mpempenswe enu I was happy say ye man panyin he say Nanado dan kwa Akufo-Addo wadu Guinea ho me ne wo ka say wa bomoden akwa inadamfo Professor Afakonde because they say ne ho akadwa mu pa ne fie presidential palace now was say no wo ho na Mamadu ye fanise Domboya wono so ewo fie ho abi ane ya capture no wo dem ho ye ma ne kwa ma ne mpie nko ba bibia wo ho enti se wono wo first floor wenu so ha na wo police no mo close bibia ne ho akere no ne ho akadwa mu enti wo ma panyin ehunu se da bi eye so okopa military for na ache ne papa no wonya ahomegye akakra and I'm happy so man panyin watimi etu sa na mo se da bi baby a crisis asi no me na me ye ECOWAS chama eye se mitimi ye dan egu ho na mitimi pa achew e de ma menua but ne make na se sa no ma we nyina no ye nsua bibi mfrim ye ntimi nsua bibi amfrim a sa ku dita no e betimi aspread on Africa
doc there see ewo ye Guinea no ye beka say ECOWAS a failure na
yeah eka say to some extent no ECOWAS a failure so here mamema historical antecedent kakra so here Liberia crisis here by here constitutional manipulation ya dey by I want say Liberia no as a country no was established in 1820 but na indigenous no ho Liberia means the land of liberated people and Monrovia was named after James Malone, the then president of
the US.
US. The slaves are no more US and no more Ambaho. Ambaho na no more Zimu political position. From 1820 to 1869, and almost formed the first political party. And the almost formed political party, no, and they do almost so ABC 1980. 1st April 1980 coup by Sajindo. Now before then, now I'm to election every 4 years to wait Marco 2 terms. And the top man, William Tubman, 43 to 51, next year free so. And also a constitution they say as long as the people vote for you, wait Martinaso. Or Trazo ABC 1978, from 43 to 78. And we are Tubman, yeah, Tobet, the vice say, Ebet Twaso, and do ye coup etuno, and on massacre all the descendants of these two people. That's where the war started. But why you say Muninano? Na EU or Neko was or man country. Yanya Ghana, 1964. 65 na any election 64 na Nkrumah change constitution to one party state. And the coup no first speech Africa MI also we are the soldiers. Politics is not our job. If there was a need to change the government, it was for the people to decide. If all else failed, we did what we did. And you think say your historical antecedent ten be a manipulative constitution no it lead to coup. Na dia class I am one say o man pani ko Guinea no oni Alasani Ouattara na koye so
Ouattara easy Ouattara
so endino e dia be na e ka kire ku makers Ombe meeting wa ha. Eya de mate mu bi. Onu kwa ne papa omo di Togo for over 50 years.
4 years ngbe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in this out here this year afakonde eye we say no na ECOWAS uni ho. Adenti na omo antu no fo say wonya de oye no. E wo mu say constitutionally or legally no. The ECOWAS don't have power over the sovereignty of the but at least they could have advised him for the whole world to know say
the oye
enye
na de kan be wo mo de be wo mo mre esan say ya hwena no e se Cote d'Ivoire ye bi o matumi anka enti e be na Guinea de o matumi ja Cote d'Ivoire de no
o say e bi otim say ade no ya doso.
Okay.
Yes, because out here Watala say ya enye de gbago person o ya ono no challenging na din tokwa bae no also say bi na Guinea ni so the same thing no so de no bae in the feel say breadthrough say ECOWAS no omutimi kasa ansana omo yes prevention better than cure in the omutimi preventing nyama bi ansana omakope solution problem aba omakope solution enanka omo ye meeting no nka omo onfa asa akwa no so bae nka anya so omo mba bi mo be take decision against the same problem amomo o sa akwa yi awanje obi ade na nko se Watala na ne no ko Guinea ho enti embraso se ECOWAS ni EU no omutimi ekasa take certain decisions bi anya sa ne man ebe cause wa countries bibrim
na would the toto the national security coordinator kai hu say our democracy is under threat signing lawlessness into no bodon bi twi adwene si bibi so.
Oh yes say en na make say enya Ghana democracy nkwana under threat. The whole West Africa and South even region. To the extent Africa. Because we near maybe as your politicians no ye dey hwamo. To a large extent no, they think about themselves more than the country. Here article 70 why here there be a can say. How can say obi actually the university over 30 years? Or call retirement or no sika we atete ato ho. Say near the man. No obi a call retirement best for 8 times. Every 4 years be a call retirement. No agini sika. Ni 4 years the na oje no. E do so sini. On na sika to atete ato na oje o. On man sika near the man.
That's not true.
Mutu social security.
That's not true.
Gracia no.
You tia? I don't know.
Es Gracia.
Yeah, salary near 13 year the 2 near the amaye. So there's nothing like es Gracia.
Es Gracia no.
Yes. Yes, salary. Yes, unim me call parliament January no. Sika you tia me. Me correct that. Sika you tia me.
Because I hold the
7th parliament for sika and you tia me. What you say? Until me salary wages is here, and me salary. My salary will be approved after the president appoints a committee to determine my salary. Until say increment na me nya also no. And your bob one the amount as gasha.
I don't know bob. I to move you.
So now see here to aketuem. Obi there 4%, obi there about 50%.
Dog.
Until no eba sa na e dey be na eba
amamfo ni tirim
amamfo ni so anaso de na ebo mutrim eno so na ma eduru politics ya na edu or die because onimse okọ hakope bibi enti no ekwa bi obefa so ese o win election bia no ese o win ana sa na ma nyina ka bomu a enet ema democracy no aye threat no because amamfo enhunu se omo kwa ba mu akobu o man na emo omo kwa ba mu form ye dienti no na manfo nwinwi te say the honorable kan enye na nka mete sa asemi megidi se nipa bebre so sa na omo so dwene enti megidi se the constitution ne niam bi wo ha ese ye hwe me ese san niam bi me for me no 1992 constitution was dead at birth.
Why?
There what you a constitution o hwe American constitution America gained their independence on 4th July 1776. The same constitution no we use do amendment kakra but if e say yɛte constitutional committee or commission say review constitution you know, because there are certain things there now here constitution na personally I mean who say it was prepared for a particular person at that time. Yes, they didn't think about the other Ghanaians.
It was a transitional.
So okay, yes, you practice a presidential system of government, and so there's a hybrid of presidential and parliamentary. And also can who name my ministers, you know, intimate juma as well. Who MP, who's a minister. Others will be concentrated on ministerial work. I thought it be a parliament club, I know, in the power of 30. Because don't know ministers. Indeed, a never be brave constitution, I say, it is a me who say practice proper democracy. And yes, I dear, me say, many security coordinator and by admin say, our democracy is under threat.
Okay. Vincent, moko abema moko se moko bua mana sa moko moko piska.
Ma main church
na sɛ wo bisa no wo giri sɛ Vincent
Obe Vincent do be
na minya no yi senior boy ma me found to job for the first time that my work that I did at the Ministry of Education was almost like pro bono.
Okay.
I was never paid.
Where are they mom?
I was never ever paid at the Ministry of Education. In fact, me and my boss, Dr. Maltepoku Prempe, no did not force ya say me nyadwuma. And so one way or the other, the salary na be or the mama say be oh, Vincent also check akra na the trial. But I was never paid. But I did my work in a way that I thought something me aye. And you be an say your call abem so ko pay bibi. No. Doc, wo share 7th parliament, omusika no si etua wo mo no. Sir, salary na MPC the almost 7th parliament, that is the last parliament.
Yeah.
MPB no wanya even a personal increment. It's the same amount of money na ya ewure mfufuru na etua ye. Enunti no committee o mampanyi beda na di enche. Committee ne be determine say as per John Locke say there should be that kind of separation of powers whereby there will be that relationship into ministers and I say executive no determine the salary of legislature not just legislature so determine the salary of the minister.
Montesquieu.
No, if Montesquieu is a strict Montesquieu is a strict adherence of the separation of powers. And John Locke the relationship whereby there's a kind of measure.
Check and balance.
Absolutely. Inti say yenya and as a committee ni nyanko share determine the emolument me MP menya I am still being paid on a salary that probably should not be my salary.
That whole arrangement is problematic.
And then go and ask the constitution. Hold on. Okay, say problematic. We come to the constitution.
Yes,
now before I even zoom in into the Guinean issue, you know, mamenya 2 minutes. I mean demonstrate at the bench. Share, but the kind, the constitution of Ghana, or compare with the other constitutions with Guinea, Ivory Coast, Ghana constitution far better.
Yes, but they are not the model.
Trust me,
Guinea is not the model.
I have taken time to check. No, not just Guinea.
We are not learning our democracy.
No, hold on. I'm just saying.
We are learning our democracy
from
Britain
a constitution was bad from birth. A constitution that was promulgated in 1992 is even better than a constitution that has been promulgated in Guinea in 2020. It's better than a constitution that has been promulgated in Ivory Coast somewhere 2017 or 2018.
Those countries are not models.
Hold on. I'm just trying to establish something.
If you look at our
want to compare
now, even our
countries like Guinea, share Article 3 of the 1992 Constitution. I'm trying to demonstrate something. Article 3 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, let's say, Parliament shall have no power to enact a law establishing a one-party state. Just a parliament. Any to me be a say obetna mrashebedwam. No aka say no MPP nko a na edibedi dwuma e wo Ghana ha. Parliament ni say to me no. A substantive limitation. What it means in say any kwan say parliament na anwe say okwa be establish any party one party no kwa na de be adwuma na mum constitution na mu ko hwe article 229 is it 294 something? Okay, had the amendment. Yes, chapter 25, 289, 290. Amendment of the Constitution. A show prefer say, Sadia Noa, the Constitution, Mr. Parliament is not having any legal responsibility to pass a law. I establish one party state. No. Constitution actually say, you bet me a day, Ako consists a samrano. Uti, you bet me consists a samrano. Now is the Parliament and your say, you better establish one party state.
And holding your entrenched.
No, it is an entrenched position. An entrenched position. But the Constitution gives room for how entrenched positions are supposed to be reviewed or amended, and that is Article 290.
Okay.
Now, I mean, just opposite Article 3 and 290, as compared to the Guinean Constitution. Now, me who say a thin line between what is legality and morality. So the Nadokoka say ECOWAS has failed and all that. So I disagree totally.
I didn't know.
Maybe show the Guinean Constitution. We show the Guinean Constitution. Article 66, the Guinean Constitution that was cancelled,
amended.
That is amended. No, the one that was overthrown.
Okay.
Legally, it was overthrown legally, not illegally, and that is the Guinean Constitution of 1984 as amended in 1996. Article 66 now, or say the term for the President of the Republic is of 5 years. Now, Saba say the President of the Republic may not run for a third consecutive mandate, nor during the 5 years following his second mandate. Substantive limitation. Constitution say the Alpha Conde. At the time, I know when review Constitution, it was going to be illegal for him to decide, say, may call for third term. But the same Guinean Constitution, 1984, no, Emma room for congressmen, not Alpha Conde, and congressmen here in Ghana is parliamentarians. Yeah. It gave the opportunity, and I say the power to the congressmen, say, and that is Article 127 of the Guinean Constitution. It says that the National Popular Assembly may revise the present constitution at any time. If there's any blame, it should be about the, no, not just parliament. The parliament is the representative of the people. The sovereign power belongs to the Guinean people. They gave power to the congressmen to make this decision on their behalf. If there is any blame, this blame precedes the time where Alpha Conde be president. Why should we blame Alpha Conde for such an act?
Now, hold on.
Somebody has initiated
yes, hold on. I'm moving. Say, Parliament which we are so like
constitutional. Okay. Constitution say 127. The National Popular Assembly may revise the present constitution at any time. Where did they mention Alpha Conde?
Oma mention because Parliament na year na Alpha Conde in the
the two opposition congressmen also are parliamentarians so but the point I'm trying to the point I'm trying to make is that this is the Guinean Constitution 1984 as amended in 1996.
Yes. Unum say wamo eba democracy from 2010.
Right.
Yes, there has been series of coups. And no omode nti sa coup mentality no and omode yes sa constitution so that there could be a lacuna and are there political science who angasa will feel are there back who are politicians and paper they say there will be a lacuna
but that what one
a moment that
so it establishes the distinction between legality and morality.
Political elite that is why I said that the ECOWAS could have advised him.
No,
they could not stop him.
Why can't they advise?
They cannot because
based on the historical antecedents.
Because the municipal laws of a year Guinea no ECOWAS need to me be
I totally disagree with you.
To enter because at the end of year no say oh let's review the constitution no and we Guinea for mremu and say mremu if say mremu what locus is ECOWAS going to have to advise? That's my point. What is going to be the locus?
I say Agya now Omampene no take advantage of his majority in parliament and we so they
and a question of morality. Me person me hunu ni say apart from morality issue uti apart from morality issue no e dey na Alpha Conde ye illegal ene judge betimi akasa na say there can be a jury say obi akobokro no nti na so obi akoko nipa nti enku no. Moral wise it is wrong, but legally it is right. So I want to establish the point say yes, see make argument and say a moral issue say o ade we de enye eni kwasa nka afa konde ye ne sa and I said the Dr. DK or some advisor of Afakonde said it is not going to be helpful for him and all that. Morally, it was not right for Afakonde to do that. But for us to blame ECOWAS for acting lately, for me, I disagree with anybody who want to say ECOWAS did not act swiftly. Now, ECOWAS is acting based on the locals and I said the law and what ECOWAS also we use. Not what we think say yeah papa so say yeah.
Let's say they do baby ya fa book mu de nko a say the camera morality be mu a say betu be gina aka say okay even though ya mera ne say but you hwe baby ode ade na ekọ no a e wo mu say ko asemera na say da nim e wo constitution mu say mbotumi asesa mapani e bre so odi ade nanso wo do asoto formatum say
from experience ya
and ni say mra hye bedwamfo ka say we are going to make Ghana a one-party state. Obi obetena ho blame Akufo-Addo bia no will be wrong because yes, the president no benya kwan so be sign but the president can refuse it. After he refuses it, na saba parliament met me review. Na saba come back. At a point, he may not have any option than to sign.
We will blame him because all laws emanate from the executive.
That's not true. Not every
Most of
the laws come from the executive.
Then no message can go back.
Who draft the law and present to Parliament? Who draft the law? Is it not the Attorney General?
Near Wokano, NTRCA wom. So who fan say the domestic law as compared to the international law.
Yes.
You have grounds.
But that's the point I'm
But
making.
the fact of the matter is say constitution no Guinea for no ikura no. Before say omo eba be referendum na omampanyin no asesa no no. Omanfo kan say Omampanyi constitution now person was no. Yempene so.
Omanfo no by what determination?
Nipas
No, hold on.
Omanfo the whole country no.
It cannot be true that the whole country. Every opposition members or other people were saying it.
76% e kan so omompe. Hwe phenom omotu no no. Hwe the wa hwe Wamutu no the whole country was in a jubilant mood. Omani nyina ni age.
It's not the whole country.
Busa said then na wutimi ye ya. Ama omani nyina ye tu ade so no omani nyina ebose. It tells you a great story. Say there be omampanyin you are suppressing the will of the people. And no and am punishing the civilians as they say no. Wontimi mpie free presidential palace.
Okay. Okay. Me that say. Mensa ye nhwe na ye
Jacob now. You see this issue is a very serious issue and let me say last month I was elected as the national coordinator for the West African Civil Society Forum.
Oh, really?
Congratulations.
Oh, when you Juma.
Yeah, in the year, this is the network of civil society organizations in West Africa. You lead civil societies negotiations, interactions with ECOWAS. And in fact, one of the at our meetings, one of the issues that we've raised, the lapses in the procedures of ECOWAS. And I think very soon we'll come up with some key recommendations. They better resolve some of these issues in future. But the Jacob Nade, is it yentimi enka issue ya esi wo Guinea without ECOWAS? And Andrea, Mr. President Akufo-Addo and Alassane Ouattara in Guinea trying to impress on the coup leaders, to try and release Alpha Condé and also transition the country into a civilian rule. And I was intrigued, and you see the fact said the two people we sent to Guinea to resolve the issue are in the person of Alpha Condé and President Akufo-Addo.
Really?
Alone even is a failure on the part of ECOWAS.
Ouattara.
Sorry, Alassane Ouattara and President Akufo-Addo. It's even a failure. Because we know the history of Ouattara. And at the end of the problem now was the ECOWAS leaders who resolve it. The very person now was resolve the problem no, is guilty of the same problem. Again with President Akufo-Addo. The only difference between what happened in Guinea and in Ghana is that in Ghana the constitution did not change.
Yeah.
President Akufo-Addo had just come out of an election with eight people have died, which is a huge failure, and up to date, nobody has been prosecuted. So, you are sending people to go and resolve a crisis, but the very people who you send to go and resolve the crisis have blood on their hands. Again,
be the president.
That is what I'm saying. Yes, that is what I'm saying. You see,
Yeah.
ECOWAS gradually is becoming, a club of old people protecting each other. That is what ECOWAS seem to be becoming. They are just there protecting each other. You see, Emra Afakonde, try say, or system constitution. In fact, every security or intelligence person will tell you, say, this was going to be the result or the outcome of what Afakonde was doing. Anybody will tell you. And in fact, we've heard diplomats who have said that they spoke to Afakonde prior to, changing the constitution during the elections, even after the elections, and told him and warned him that he could suffer a coup d'etat. He dismissed all those issues. But when Afakonde SSR constitution had a third term in a very fraudulent election, one of the first person who Frey Afakonde congratulate you, young President Akufo-Addo, who is the chairman of the ECOWAS. Again, one of the people who were at the investiture of Afakonde, young president, the chairman of ECOWAS, President Akufo-Addo. What other form of legitimacy do you give to somebody? Because at the end of the day, more ECOWAS leaders, more catch and say we then he organized a fraudulent election. Now with the chairman of ECOWAS, you are the first person carry a presidential jet, travel to Guinea and attend his investiture. What form of legitimacy do you want?
Someone constitution.
Yes, you see, constitution we have the letter of the constitution and the spirit of the law. There is a reason why most constitutions or most democracies have term limits. Term limits are an integral part of democracies. And yet, let the actual and say, oh, you must have 2 terms, keke. And this is there be. It is a hope for inclusiveness. For participation. Say, won't go on to me, Metina, by your mind, you depart do a japade. Yeah, the show on sa. Who bet my betina, 2 terms. Who we are corner from. That is the spirit behind that provision. And yes, and so because the constitution provides, say, a constitution could be amended, said Vincent Ekanye, and you'll be sorry, or person could just go and amend the constitution and continue because now the Lord allow him to run. Debbie, yes, sir, you are defying the spirit of the law. Images a free Guinea bar. See how the locals were booting at the ECOWAS leaders who went to impress on Mamadou Doumbouya.
You say what's French? Because I'm saying French.
No, you could see right in their actions. How? Yes, and I speak a little bit of French. So yes, you see right from their actions. And if there is anything you cannot take away from Mamadou Doumbouya and the coup leaders of Guinea, it's local legitimacy. They have the backing of the people. And why do you think that the people are backing them? It's because Enoma Afakonde do mafamuno, and yet suppression of the media, suppression of critics may carry their back what the National Security Coordinator said about how Ghana's security is under threat. Ghana's democracy, is under threat. And yet, changing constitution and threatening Ghana in democracy, and that's a lawlessness. But your idea back Ghana yanhwe ya ebe ha ye pa yen democracy ade baako youth unemployment. Eja kwabna nansen ye call international conference center you are ye job fair. Nyina ye hunu mabu na abo dompem ho epa adwuma bia university in fie back in fie mienu in fie nsia in fie du what fie wonye adwuma ne. Nyina ebe kaya nansen ye wo ho ene ye nya ntiye se ISIS Ghana for recruit ISIS for Ghana. Okay? Al-Shabaab for recruit 2 people from northern Ghana to join them, the militant groups. Agya Kwabena omoko no moko jeje ntete na ehe no mo de ba. And so the problem that we are faced with as a country, you see, it goes just beyond a change of a constitution. Say democracy is under threat. Indeed, it is really under threat. And it's a wake-up call for Amanyofono. Because look at the conditions that resulted in the coup in Guinea. Ghana, apart from changing constitution, and normal akoso Guinea are more prevalent in our society. Unemployment, poverty, hardship, suppression of critics, suppression of media. What have you? Apart from constitution, Ghana, Asa, all those things that led to the coup in Guinea are prevalent in our situation. And it's a whole national security coordinator catches a democracy is a threat. He knows what he's talking about. And it is a normal way. Now youth unemployment. Who energetic young people are. We are not putting them to work. And energy, they are wasting away. Engaging in criminal activities, social vices, what have you, and joining robbery gangs and vices gangs, and being recruited by insurgent groups across the continent. Then we must be wary. And to all these things, catalysts will come together and ignite something. And to these things, it's a wake-up call, I think, sir. And you say, I think, sir, President Kufuor should even more be concerned about what is happening in his own country, rather than what is Guinea. Because Guinea, one day, they failed already. They had a chance. And now, almost say, they've imposed travel restrictions on the coup leaders. You see, one tenacity. Alpha Conde, SSR constitution, did you place travel ban on him?
On what basis?
Did you restrict? On what basis are they placing ban on the coup leaders?
International law.
What international law? Couldn't that same international law place travel ban on Alpha Conde? Stop him?
Which law?
No, you see, let's not play. Vincent, let us not play the
No, yeah, can I morality agree? But I'm just saying, there's no law that does that.
You cannot sit down and allow the problem to degenerate.
UTV a big station.
No,
You cannot say this.
There are laws. Vincent,
there's no law. You can point the law to me. Point the law to me.
Vincent, and there is Vincent. You see, ECOWAS leaders, if they really wanted to solve the problem,
yes.
When Alpha Conde changed the constitution,
Yes. But that was, I'm changing the municipal law, so it was legal for them to do so.
Laws, Vincent? What laws are you talking about?
I have just read the Guinean constitution to you.
Yeah, it can be a constitution, so
yes.
It can be amended.
Absolutely.
Are you saying?
But if you do that and the people support it,
that is
illegal.
It's
about a referendum.
President Kufuor amend the constitution on Is that what he's saying? Is that what President Kufuor is talking about?
Nobody's saying that. The constitution doesn't even allow that. What I say, but I'm just saying, say, if Parliament so desires that we should amend the constitution and allow Ghana to be a one-party state, the Ghanaian people are going to vote at the referendum. If the Ghanaian people so desires and believe, say, we should make Ghana a one-party state,
Vincent, you and I would say the referendum.
We should make Ghana a one-party state. Now say, yes, elections. Now say Ghana for agree say we should make Ghana a one-party state. You cannot say ECOWAS should come into Ghana and come and question why we are applying our own laws. And the laws, the sovereignty of the people.
No, Vincent, that what we are saying is ECOWAS is a sub-regional body. And now they work based on intelligence, not just the constitution of countries. And they were very much aware, say, that even though what Alpha Conde was doing, it could be within the laws of Guinea.
But however,
and they had an opportunity to act, say, look, and that is why most of the diplomats are talking, say, we want Alpha Conde. We told him that this could bring to so and so, and he didn't listen. And what did the ECOWAS leaders say? This now comes to the recommendation now. In fact, as the West African Civil Society Forum, we are recommending to ECOWAS to say, you see, I think the ECOWAS charter needs to be amended and be given some little more powers. You see, and be given some little more powers. So that some of these, some of these situations, they could deal with it head on. Okay. Instead of sitting down for the situation to degenerate and later come back and say you are imposing travel restrictions. Now, those restrictions, it doesn't mean anything to one or two. You see, how does that affect one or two? Made a travel restriction also. So you could have solved the problem. You could have prevented all these.
Okay.
But you did nothing. It is a fellow on the ECOWAS leaders. It's not the fellow on the ECOWAS leaders. Because that person is not being truthful.
All right.
You see, Thompson,
Besima.
Bebro ha menene be adwen bi so ha menene ne adwen. Ma men kan say Honorable Vincent Asefo one so intellectually near work no it makes sense when it comes to the domestic law and international law. It makes sense pa but as someone here can say pa no within the ECOWAS sub-region Thompson can say the leaders no or my say club leaders say Jacob Raminim go win me kama me pass man no pass man me sa de ne ye but near ye ne say ya sign document manfa ECOWAS protocols no amba ECOWAS protocol no ye derive our laws no from the African Union Charter on Democracy and Good Governance and what they say under sa treaty no omo nyina sign ye no they should abide by good governance principle say womo ebetimi aye omo bibia democratically but the come here say womo abuse the tenet of democracy no can smartly say ni esi wo Guinea no ebi esi wo Ghana ma eyabro kraso typical example na aye election 2020 share election 2020 the way election no esikoye share kwan ya electoral commission fa so aye na adwuma FI say election baako from 1992 election baako 2021 declaration was signed by 6 good times eno nko ano etimi ma civil war ebe o mam e ko Supreme Court so hwe ne Supreme Court judges no ye wo mo ye no ma say ya no ma chinchim Ghana fo nyina na no ma aye basa
I heard them no
seriously samra no de
what they asema for court you see what we are ni guy ye ko duru court am say brawi ni guy na we are no tutuma na what the case ya court fa figures ya o say una win election was my fa figure ma and o say
Dr. Bonsu seriously where I disagree with you near make an say near Supreme Court judges no my so electoral laws me monitor election war Africa hanyina me wo certificate to testify yesua sa no man nyina say adjudication of sa normal way a court no say yetimi ma electoral commissioner no wono na mandate no constitution no man kwan say wo declare election it is what declare election na result no fan say minua asefua the election I declare was tafo pankro no man win ye no eno no de district ni betimi but presidential no electoral commissioner no what right so we declare what declare result result na 6 good times 8 na media mamenka me says Mr.
court say 5
court me ye say electoral commissioner no omra no me testify
say no be you authentic na
ani won me testify na Supreme Court time achachu chikata ebusa question omuso chachu aden na won twen na edu we so a no ebusa we edu we so yes so aden na wan twen afa edu ba bi well dodge na ukoya sa ade we ya ade papa
no na
enti dia dog kan say dia dog
who now say me din kudi
okay yes we declare result presidential no electoral commissioner no it is a result no wa tochima ya sesan say in political science department ko Legon ko Korea University ko University of Winnipeg ko Cape Coast ko say no yentimi hu result pa e course 2020 a yebetimi dia teach yan kwala
enti dey see the bonny way ono so beka say electoral commission ka back waka mienu waka miensa waka na waka enu waka nsia enso me am dey asan back me so me dey back
no returning officer
also obi anya 50% or also obi anya 50% plus 1 enti say no nya e
why na so declare
returning officer one so ni kire also ade court uni fit and
that as we dey that bill
no you see
who can say I say I me na me dey mad e we abesi ha enti what be wi ade ane me na ma create No, young cancer. I mean, would you have a good background in law?
Dr. Agya.
Honorable.
Mr. Agya. The popular law maxim. He who alleges must prove. The only exception to those kind of maxims, and they say when there is an opportunity, say, and I said there is a circumstance, say, I deal with the me alleged, there is no way information. That is when the proof, and I said the burden will now move to the defense. I say, oh, I feel me and media the neighbor no prove bia na more na circumstances any there e wo say wo prove
na wo say prove so na wo prove makoma ko nsi e mo ne na e fa yi
what change result ba ba ko nsi
result the last one or the
Agya Kwabena the
one kasa wo feel
problem
now we chire electoral laws and your friend is saying
okay agbe
result last one
na Agya Kwabena
election bia kwa nsu
Mama Nusi, enti near Agya near make and say,
okay,
say national security coordinator na sama work can. Say you na you bet me protect good governance. You bet me protect democracy. And yes, sir, we have to be accountable
to the people.
To the people.
Okay.
No manipulation, no. Electoral manipulation, rigging, changing of constitution is normal. And no nadipu edeba.
I think we all agree. In fact, we had a problem. Say, NDC for court or Manfa results. In fact, then we criticize it. Manfa, something to go and show. Say, ABI so based on some of those things. It's a fact. But your BB electoral accountability, electoral commission, or your state institution, your money to me as a returning officer. And how I conduct elections, and from Swaba, who no be Jim watching ye, that's another quarter. And yet, then, the Nipana. Or conduct elections, you say, the money in another.
Okay, I know a year Marabendia, na Ebejina Samrani, and Munosuni, the Comatushin in a SC Ewaha. And I mean, some I can, and somewhere, you never quite drink Jumunia Junhui, and your man can't call in Puntuntia. No, no. And who must you then hear me pa? Say, a brasson. Say, a yes share responsibility near Kan Wasamono, ye dear Juma. Ebraso say ye my mpanifo hu say sacrifices bebre koso e o magana mu na baby education system na aduro no enkwara na adoso a churchefo no so wo ho a pressure abom so pa enti this is not the time say ye yese ye be pian nipa bi akoshe baby awo nipa bi akoshe baby edi tumi bi abulebule nipa bi da bi sabre mo na say ye de kasade ene tiase kan ye hu bom ne ye boa man ehumasua hihye no etumi gina sankwan koba ne saa na ebegu aguhuhum ebewura ekuo bakom se bom asamaba asefa me da ase doc me da ase agbe me da ase Tom say me da ase what the chess can
on the 27th of September my birthday
your birthday
yeah Roman for no say the feast day the 27th no share the Roman calendar no Saint Vincent de Paul. That was when he died. He is a French Catholic priest. Now that day, the fair be old for constituency for. There have been some amount of insecurity in the constituency for some time. TBC, police, street lights, the medical home be.
And it's sad and yes, yes, so yes, a man no the ba. Yes, and sad and I'll be choose about who man. For boy, but my chene pass. I don't make ko gina fi mani ayesa bagba so ampa na madam asipi se munya abre e baye me din e de Agya Kwabena meda presobimpe ene abedwafo e chire ase na mada eye me wo fase Eric Ajima no cameraman asese omiemia fide ni chinchim fide ni nyina de mai me din de Agya Kwabena e ho ayadoma ye be hia kramo ada mu nyina ase.